Well, thank you very much. Who is that guy?
And have a good week.
Who is that idiot who said it's not going to be a free fall Friday? Fire him like immediately.
Yeah, I said there's no free fall Friday. I said
it too.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Oh, I know. I was being self-deprecating.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
No, I was like, oh, there's never. But is it a free fall?
Well, it's okay. First of all, you can't know what's going to get said, and obviously
right now.
the tariff news back and forth is going to be able to move the markets. And let's be real, we were absolutely cruising until then. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Nasdaq's still up, but we were absolutely cruising in this market. You were looking fantastic unless you're Apple, and then all of a sudden the tariffs are back on, and you saw what happened to GM, and you saw what happened to now everything, almost, because we're right back to where we started. So there's Nvidia. Nvidia is right back to where it dipped at the open. The Nasdaq itself is right back to where it was at the open and trying to revert. It's just one of those types of days. Now, I know some people might say it's frustrating. Yeah, you have to keep your ear to the ground, but the truth is, there's going to be increased volatility, and ultimately that's going to create some opportunities here for everybody. So whether you're trading big cap tech, or like maybe you're trading a General Motors, you couldn't do this earlier. Like, imagine he says it earlier. No, maybe you're trading a General Motors. Sometimes it's like,
look at that.
The opportunity out here, and I'm not saying I actually wasn't sitting down here when this happened, but like, imagine there's some like quick little break trades you can probably grab if you're looking at that stock, kind of like listening to the news. The second it drops, that's a pretty solid secondary candle that you're able to then fade off of VWAP for another push down of like $1 on GM. This is a 3-minute chart. Like, that's 3 minutes, try to retrace, fail VWAP. That's opportunity if you're sitting down at your desk and you get that headline, right? So that's why we're going to have people on the desk always for you to get that news live. And let's see how we recover. It's obviously not good for Canadian dollar, which has happened. Ooh, there it is. Let me clear my throat.
Yeah, fine. All right, thank you, Ramin, for muting us. Okay, we are fine. Welcome, everybody. So we were long, and then we were short, and yeah, now I'm looking to go short again right now. Market's trying to come back in. What's up to Sharif and Joe? Have a good weekend to those two fine gentlemen. Thanks for another banger show there on the midday. 85.20 right there, 50-period moving average. Look, if we start to retrace back up, I don't know if I'm going to love that short right there. The market's still up. Like, this is not really. If it's a free fall Friday, it may still happen. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we did fall from grace today at almost 22,000 again on the Nasdaq. That was very, very close to that all-time high. So obviously, every time we get up there, we are going to fall back just a little bit. I'm trying to buy all of them dips, man. I mean, as they come through, we want to get at possibly as many of those as possible. Here's the Nasdaq 30. I'm already in a lot of Nasdaq names. I'm going to try to buy dips on SPY or Diamonds, which is the Dow Jones 30. I like that. But there's the all-time high right there. So we were within a whisper of that trade today. So we kind of wicked to the high side, and then since then we've fallen back in. So still really nice. For me, if we break, this is what I'm kind of looking for, breaking that day's low, then I do think, there's that gap fill at least. That's 21,750, so, where we are sort of now, into 21,690, 680, 50-period moving average is 660. So, yeah, for me on the TQQs, I'm looking to go short if we do break this level right here. And I just want to talk about it before we go back over to Sharif, because I could get into this very soon, and then everyone will be like, hey, why aren't we all short there? There's the breaking spot right there that I'm trying to play off of. We come right into this, barcode, 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 whap. So that's what I'm looking for right now. That's right, Neil. Whap to the downside. And we got to give this $1. Wow. That would be whapped. Yeah, it's kind of like whap. It's just a bang. But there it is, man. We'll see if we can get to the downside right there. And we'll play it. We'll try it just in case there is that pullback into Friday. Because as I just heard Sharif say, and or maybe it was you as well, Apple, and I tweeted it out, man. Like, we tweet out our good trades. We tweet out our bad trades. And I was like, look, ever since we lost 240, we got out of there. And it's good that it's not great to be so stubborn. We did make a significant piece back, but then, of course, this happened, and it wound up falling through. But there it goes right back in, and then whoosh. Wow. This is like that, yeah, this is like that snowboarding hill. there that my son's trying. He's been snowboarding now for 3 or 4 weeks.
Where you
All of
guys
a sudden,
going?
he's like an expert. No, he just goes up to Mount St. Louis. So he wants to go to Blue Mountain, which is apparently a little bit better. So he'll be going to that soon. But anyways, yeah, like a ski hill.
We're breaking. We just broke
85
down
is Palantir? No. Is it?
Could be the last day of the month. Fabio in
TQs
the
were in
chat. Could it be in the last day of the month? Help the falling market. Yeah, momentum could be a little bit more distinct.
Right,
I think that's definitely a possibility.
We're into that short, by the way.
Wow, yeah, the market just took another fresh low in here. The stock I won is AMD at 117, and maybe we'll get a chance to get that one. The timing of I got stopped out away from the desk right before it happened, it being Trump.
Here we go.
But yeah, we'll get back to the upside. I want to short this one on any kind of a pop. When we get to our good friend Sharif in just a quick second, I have a funny feeling we'll be talking about some chips.
Yeah, so here we go. The TQQs does make that fall down. We get some out right here at 84.05 for about 14 to 15 handles. And here we go back in again. We just took it. No, yeah, we got another piece right there. We didn't get the full fill. But here it comes, guys. It is time to celebrate good times here at Trader TV Live. Look, how long did that take me? 3 minutes to get right back into things right now. It's a nice move downside for this. There go the futures, man. Hey, look, we just put the position on. We come in and go, you look a little bit, oh yeah, that was a nice little trade there. So we'll see what happens to the downside, and there goes the TQs. Oh baby, this could be that move into the close right now for the NASDAQ. We are short, and there she goes. It's now 25 handles, 30 handles now in the money on a trade where we're still in the same minute right now. So there it goes. Oh boy, Neil, oh boy. This rate, if I flatten this rate now, it's P&L 2 for me. So I don't know what to do, but we will just hold it and see if that wounds up working. So, all right, I'm out of about 15%.
Let's get it started. Market to the downside. Okay, we are ready. Let's go to Sharif. I think we're going to want to talk about some chips anyways.
Yeah, dip. Dip's a dip.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. You saw that graphic, it was a lot of red, and that's what we're seeing on the market right now. Oh baby, this is the triple Qs. We're really heading aggressively to the downside. I was gonna tell you guys we were down 0.75% on the Dow, 0.5% on the ES, and 1% on the Russell with the NQ still green, but I think I might have to relook at those numbers because I think the NQ is about to go red from what it looks like right there. So the triple Qs are really selling off aggressively right now. So keep your eye on the positions with the boys. Here's the first ticker though, as decided by you guys. Tesla going to reduce about 10% of their employees following the the layoffs they had already, I should say, in April, guys. This one bleeding right now, 410. Can we see 400 on Tesla today?
Friday. It's a Friday, so obviously a lot of times you have gravity pull towards the bigger optionable levels. So I'd say it's a distinct possibility. Everything changed whatever time it was when Trump mentioned the tariffs. So Tesla, the one thing I would look for is we bounced and held the 50 on the daily every single day this week. That's at 397. So that's about the only place that I would think you could have a little bit of a bounce. But look at this. It's all red. Everything distinctly changed. Got to be looking for short entries. I think as long as we're underneath $413, that was the line that I wanted to hold. I said when I left this morning, I said we'll look for dip buys at 413. Well, it's a different market. I think you got to look for the shorts if you get any kind of a pop, and then just take it out at VWAP. WAP. Sorry.
WAP.
It rhymed. It rhymed to say WAP, but VWAP is the correct terminology there.
Yeah, so I want to just say right now, we just did get that rejection of that move down. My best out is 83 there on the futures. There's that wick. Guys, we called this play and it happened. You're now bouncing off the 200 period. There's that wick little bottom there. So we did make that move. It went right to where we said, man, 21,670. That was the low. That's where we took some more. That's where we took it out. So we're still in it, but it's starting to go back upside. Rejection there for that move down. you know, if it kept going, this could have been an absolute monster of a trade. We're still going to wait to see what winds up happening with it now. We're out of half, so it could even be a loser if this doesn't get to the downside there as well. But that's why I want to say thank you so much to my guy Mela, or I don't know, Mela here. How do we get these calls right so often? I mean, it's been good. We've been reading the board pretty well lately, so I just want to thank you for that support. And DJ Marshall, what's up, my guy? Right there, we'll hit that. Have to show Neil and Sean love for the afternoon. Thank you so much. Had his first red day. Oh, well, you had your first red day of the month so far, thanks to Trump. Yeah, well, your bias was long on the SPY, taking a flip short time, trying a $100 loss, 2,500. Perfect, man. I mean, you flipped it around. That's the thing. Don't give up. I mean, I don't want you guys to ever like hold on to all of your trades forever until they eventually turn around for you. Just make sure you do have that discipline to get out when you sort of smell something up with that. So great trade. Thank you so much, DJ Marshall. And it's great to see, we remember you from a long time ago.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
you know, shout out to all the OGs. And I know that's one of Sharif's things too. So again, another one right there for DJ Marshall and company. But yeah, okay. So the market's trying to bounce back up. I'm not really doing anything until we get to 85. I still think the short is there, but I don't want to average in at this time. So I'm averaging in the TQs probably 84.70-ish, but I don't have an order out. So let me get to Tesla real quick. That's the thing, man. I'm trading. I'm trying to do this, and then we got to do all this for you. And this is what we love to do this. So keep bringing the questions. That's why we have this segment, you know, to be honest with you. Sharif and Joe talk these all afternoon and then come over, see what our opinion is, and then we'll take it from there. But 409, yeah, I mean, I agree with Neil. This looks like it's, you know, that's almost that same break as the futures. Like, we almost could have looked at Tesla. It would have been better, right? That 411.50, that thing drops $2 right there. So that was a good drop-off zone right there for Tesla. I would say that, you know, there's room to go all the way to the bottom again. If this market fails, if we have to test it one more time to the downside, if it fails, then yeah, I think you're going to get a shot at $4 today for Tesla, maybe 401, 402. So I would try to look in and around there. What's yesterday's? Yeah, so that fall yesterday started right around 407, falls into $4 right at the close. So yeah, I mean, does history repeat itself? We'll see. I like Tesla long term, but you got to look at it more as an AI company than a car company. Sharif, especially with those tariffs, right? I mean, right now we're going to see how that affects some of those cars coming up from Mexico. Okay, let's go back over and we're going to talk about this futures trade and, of course, SMCI.
It had a good day today, Sean. It was up near highs. I think it was up 4 or 5%. That is, of course, until we got the Donald Trump dump. Now down about 1 2/3. It was moving up on this headline here on the back of the announcement with SMCI, that is, with their partnership with XAI, guys. Coming into a key area of technical support, though, could we find a bit of a bounce? There was the pre-market high. Kind of looks like we're holding above it right now. I wouldn't put too much stock into that one. How do you see this one, boys?
Sure. Just two things here. One, I said we got to listen to the news. I got to restart my news service to make sure that I'm actually listening to said news. That's a great idea, because I'm not saying that Trump is going to say something else or we're going to get more headlines, but it's distinctly possible. So two things. I put in the chat about ARM's strength. I like ARM. But I did take the shot breaking the low on AMD, which is the short that I liked. So it does not hold the bottom. I'm out of that. I'm into ARM. And why do I like ARM long? Well, I don't know, because it's not down. Right. It's up 5.5. It is what, like, how many stocks are actually above VWAP, breaking trend to the downside and close to the highs and up 5%? ARM and Rigetti. Rigetti's up 13% and just held VWAP as well. So just jumped into that one. As far as SMCI goes, it's up a point. And if we had just bounced off of like 29.5 in here, I'd probably be thinking about a reversion long in SMCI as well. But I can't say that. Like, in this little bounce off the lows, SMCI is not doing anything. It's essentially just chilling in here and not giving you much of a bounce. It's reverted the move until it can get back above like 29.25 or something. I think you just gotta, like, if I was short this, I'd be holding, because it's a mean revert that has given you no signs that it wants to bounce yet on SMCI. And the longer term look here, obviously since our doldrums, you've also just recently lost a big support level at $30. You need to reclaim that one. Otherwise, your penalty box here for SMCI. Every report is going to be big for them this year for SMCI. So you're kind of like hanging on by a thread that the next one is either going to moonshot it and then get a big rebound. And they come next week. on Monday or Tuesday, reporting SMCI, I believe. So I wouldn't be doing anything swing basis until then. I think your risk is gigantic. But yeah, it needs to be above 30, needs to be above VWAP. If I was shorted today, I'd be holding that. It still looks good.
I heard Adara deny that. It's right here. It's unconfirmed for next Tuesday, the 11th. So 2 Tuesdays.
Okay, my
So
bad.
you're right about the day, but that's what I was going to say, man. Even though this feels like it's this is unconfirmed. So maybe
that's why we get it right.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. So we'll double check multiple sources. Thing is, Adara also, if you follow @TraderTV Research, that handle, of course, is also tweeting out earning calendars and whatnot. So go follow that. Or follow all of us, but that's one of the newer ones there that Adara has been working on. Thanks, Adara, for that. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, SMCI. It's interesting that it's on here. Only moving that 1.3%. I think the same thing there. Breaking. I'm going to call it up on an e-signal chart just so I could properly without the splits having to get in the way. I mean, you're right into that area again. That if we break. I could zoom in, but right here, it's 28.50. Like that's a level that we've been bouncing off the last couple of days. So I think if this loses $28, then it's a problem. You still got $1 to go before then. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with SMCI. But I mean, if you want to play this trend to the downside, even though it's up 1.2%, you're still underneath VWAP, underneath the 200, and it's a sloping down 50. So like that to me is something there. So I would still play this. I'd play this to the short side. And what you want to do is when you're short right now, it's like what I'm doing with the futures. And it's too bad. We just missed 85. Look at this on the TQs. Oh my God. I have to adjust. Because it's the TQQs, this line is moving. It's just getting a little more aggressive again, I guess, because that had that move. Oh man, you know where I'm sitting? I'm sitting for basically like half this position to get it back in, 84.85. It went to 84.79. Mistakes all abound. And this is what I'm saying about, and look, it's not an excuse because we're doing the show. It's just if you're going to watch something, sometimes you have to adjust your stops on both sides of it, right? Like for winners and for losers. Like your take profits now, if you weren't down here before, maybe you should be now because we've seen the bounce. So it's just like, see how aggressive this is coming down now? Now the 50-period moving average is at 70. So like 2 minutes ago, we were at 85. And then I left it alone and it came back in. Now, I'm not one of those guys that's like, we need to hit the moving averages right on. I don't believe in like that hocus pocus stuff. But at the end of the day, that was pretty close, and we were pretty close to having another one. But here it comes right back in. There we go. From out of the money a little bit to right back in. We did take a piece out because that was sort of that first little shelf area, but we're still into pretty much all of it. That was our 5%. I'm trying to do 5% each time. We're sitting here in the teens now. We'll see if we can get out. The future just gave us a little bit of a runway there. But okay, let's go back over to Sharif.
All right, guys, here is the look at Apple continuing to bleed to the downside. Now negative on the day, down almost 1%, 0.9, reported yesterday after the bell. Mixed results there with iPhone sales decidedly down in China as Apple falls to third now in terms of handsets sold in China. They also had, with respect to not done so well, their wearables like the AirPods as well as the the Apple Watch not doing as well, guys. Analyst concerns, somewhat muted. We give back the entire move, though, that we made in the aftermarket yesterday.
So quickly, I just tried to reverse an arm. So we trended in, it double tapped, so I had 161.5. It double tapped 162, was able to get some out there. It broke underneath the trend line. I covered and went to reverse short, which candidly here at Real Trading, actually it's 2 separate orders, right? So one to get out, one to go short. There are some ways around that, but I did miss the trade. There was a question about a halter and random oddities. I'll get to that in a second. NCUV. If it's halted for 1.5 hours, there's a decent chance it was probably just news-based, but I'd have to check the halt page to be able to do that. And we'll get to Apple and then maybe talk about that. Apple was an abject disaster today in more ways than one. Like Apple, they gapped up. It looked like it was a good reaction to the report, declining sales in China. Some would say, in a lot of ways, it wasn't the greatest report in the world, but it did not hold on initially off the pre-market lows, caught a couple of good mean reversions and didn't leave it at that. Like this one was good, that one was good, and then it made the fresh low, didn't need to take the last couple. I think sometimes it's like, yeah, just leave it at those two. We're able to catch it when it did a revert early in the day, but then after 10 o'clock, you know, like that's when usually it's like, yeah, it's just trending down now, give it up, right? But I tried it 2 more times. So those are the bigger mistakes there, I think. Like once it's in the first half an hour, if it sets up a reversion trade, fine, because we've been seeing the market do this all the time. When it's a little bit later on in the day and it's still trending down like that, sometimes you got to be able to get away from it. In the long term, you still have the 50 period down here. Had I not already been a buyer at it, I probably would nibble at some at 220 if we get down there on Apple. But you know, it's still got a ways before it gets back to that 220 where it's been really good support. Like we were just there last week at this price. Insane.
Okay.
What's this dog?
Knees weak, palms are sweaty. Look at this. All right, here we go. Hey, maybe if we do this, it'll get going just a little bit more. All right, 40 handle winner again. I mean, you guys, we're trying to show our stripes. All right, so we talked about this. I actually tweeted this out on Apple. I'll just go right over to Twitter because why the heck not right now. Oh, we also tweeted this out. We just did this. I was like, let's go, man. 15 minutes until we're live. Let's put this out. All right, so oops, there it is right here. We always tweet our winners, right? So, I mean, I got to talk about when we actually put out this kind of a trade there this morning. So, so far so good. Oh yeah, those futures want to dance a little bit more. Yeah, can't always post our winners and not post the L's. Here's Apple. You know, we fought it all morning. We talked about that. You guys were live with me. If not, go rewind and you'll see everything about it. We did put on a bigger trade down there at 240. We talked about that 240 break. Once that broke, though, we were gonzo on that. So that was the trade there for Apple for me today. It was on the sticky. Whoops. It was on the sticky note, and you know, I like that trade. We could have got away from it, and that's the other thing that I have to do. I have to go and maybe actually do some studying here this weekend. Probably not, but Apple here, 243 to 24 here. Let me call up Apple. I'm watching the cues here because I'm hoping this can be a really big one here in the afternoon, guys. But right there, I wrote down 243 to 244 on Apple. And it's like, we could have just like took the L right there once it broke. And that was it, right? But the problem is, again, because it's coming into 240, and I'm like, 240 is a pretty good level. Let's try it. So it's like we could have stopped the pain in and around this area. Just as Neil said, we had caught some reversions back up. But then it just was like cascade and fell all the way down to the bottom. And before we broke 240. So yeah, a little bit of a tricky trade there for me on Apple. Definitely my worst attempt on the week. But again, we get out of it. And you can see my mood is completely fine as we stay alive. And it's kind of like that DJ. Did you talk about all those super chats, by the way? I don't, because
there was another one we did.
Okay, hold on. Let me just get them quickly.
Zavo.
Yeah, only because I remember DJ Marshall there talking about battling back, and I think that that's really important. Did we get this? Nimrod took the dogs for a walk, returned. Everything is down. Oops. Everything is down. Nvidia, Bitcoin. Did anything happen in the past couple of hours? Were we waiting on something? Yes, we did have obviously more tariff news, and that's it. So, all right, Nimrod, we'll go over many, many different names as we go. We'll talk about BTC as well. I promise you that. Your group is great. God bless. Thank you so much for that one. Alum in Sing Music. So thank you. Alum, it's Sing Music. Yeah, that makes sense. Then did you get the Zabo one there? Love your content, guys. Thank you so much again for the £5 Your openness about the realities of trading. Perfect. I mean, that's what we're here to do, man. I really appreciate that because I know I've been on that a little bit lately as well. So, all right, thank you to everybody there. We'll go back to the live chat and then go back to the board with Sharif and talk about a quantum name.
Rigetti, good day today, Sean, for Rigetti, up 12 3/4 off the highs. Had a lot of trouble with that $14 area initially, and then it broke that below it right now. This is the headline. This is a really interesting headline here. BlackRock boosted their exposure to Rigetti stock right before its jaw-dropping 1,400% surge in quantum computing hype. I'm not talking about Rigetti specifically, just as a group. Guys, 11 and change trillion under management for BlackRock.
Oh yeah, they're big boys.
Wow.
No questions asked about it. So it's weird because it's up 13%, but I had one long in Rigetti, and that was just trying the break of the high here, but it was just like 2 reversion trades on Rigetti. It's obviously a rocket ship, no questions asked, but like here's the top on the daily. It's about, let's see it better on the 15-minute chart. there. You can see it a little bit better. Like each time it's gotten to like 14.5, you had a big breakout, you've had some resistance down there. So when it got to this price, first time it was just a clean reversion trade. The second time you were double top, I went for the break, it broke the trend, and each time it's bounced off VWAP, which it's doing, you guessed it, again.
Now.
So 14.5 before, bless you, before, sorry, Sharif just sneezed there.
Yep.
Before VWAP was down here at 13.5. Now because it's strong, it's at like 13.7, but there's the trend down. I did not go long each of the 3 times it bounced off VWAP before. I'm going to take it now. Look, it just happened. Like, this is the trend. You can't even make this stuff up. Like 3 minutes ago, I would have said, hey, if it breaks the trend line, I go long. But you just saw it break the trend. If we break under this 13.70, we can jump out of it. So it's the second time I'm long Rigetti, though it's gone better for me being short this stock. This one I would, hey, we lose VWAP, fine. But if we lose 13.5, this is a short for me. I just don't, like, I don't want to reverse at 13.70 when it's got a double bottom here at 13.50. I'd get out of the long under VWAP, but I don't think I'd want to take the breakdown till it broke 13.50. And of course, I paid for locates here on Rigetti. They were dirt cheap.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You got to make sure that you do look into that. And if you're looking to trade something, make sure you can. People always ask, like, why TQQs versus SQQs? So that would be a reason. We don't have to pay any borrowing costs on this particular name. So there are a lot of traders that can't trade TQs, or they don't, maybe their account's not funded for futures or whatever you're trading, or SPY might be too much. There are other avenues to trade. So the TQQ, I trade it because A, I like the volatility in it. It's triple levered to the NASDAQ. So that doesn't, okay. Wow, this is turning out to be something here again. Like, we just reloaded it right there, and then whap. WAP, that's the new thing here. All right, wow, all right. So there it goes to the downside. But what I was getting at here quickly was, all right, flush. Did you just try to flush there a little bit? I'm in the 80s. I'm hoping for a nice downside move here. There's the SQQ. So this is the other way around at only $30. So this name, if you're trading it, obviously the moves won't be like, you know, to the penny of the other one because it's triple the price. But as you're going to look, it should still move the same, just in the opposite direction. So if you're going to see me long or short right now, TQQ, you would go long SQQ, right? So, all right, that was that. Let's go back over, because we're getting a little long in the tooth here, and discuss some ARM.
Still up 5%, Sean, despite that aggressive selling off in the market and trying to hold that $160 area. There's really no news on this one. I mean, I looked, and there was only unusual options activity with a decided tilt in the bullish sentiment, guys, as opposed to bearish, off the highs, but holding that $160 level.
Yeah, I also tried to figure out tactically or specifically news-wise, why is ARM up when the market is doing what it's doing, and couldn't really come up with an answer. I'm happy with it because own it in the long term, but it just, sometimes the price is what it is. And right now it's above VWAP and looking pretty good. I have left in this trend line and did try to reverse it here. Didn't get the fill, so broke trend up, got some to 122, went for the reverse at 61. Obviously it pulled down $1, but if it holds the prior trend line, well, then I want to be able to short this as well on ARM. I have to double check to see when they report. Let me just, I'll just do that right now. ARM, yeah, they're next week, middle of the week. So middle of the week next week. Wow, next week is going to be big.
Yeah, man, there's so many names. The next 2-3 weeks is huge.
It's going to be massive. So yeah, they report next week. They are a little bit pricey. Look, their PE has never made a ton of sense. So they are at a big time risk of a rather large move down if they were to have some bad numbers. But for today, it's holding strength. If you can close above the trend line, I probably abort the idea of even thinking about the short in the stock. But I love it when you have a distinct trend, it fails a break, which it did, and then holds the trend back down. Because it's almost like it trapped people long. Anyone that's still in it, maybe they added it VWAP, and then you can still hold underneath the 161, at least for now. But it still has to show me this close holding the line there on ARM. Love it. It's got a lot of strength going with it. They're not the only name that's up. Actually, there you go. Bearded Warrior Trades just pointed out a couple of other names that are looking pretty decent too, like Palantir and Alphabet. So it's not, this isn't limited to ARM being the only stock that is holding up very well today. Although I'd posit that Palantir's under VWAP. where ARM is at least trying to break back out above. So give it its due. I can't figure out why specifically, but it is what it is. I'm very, very happy with it in the long term. But if I was nervous in front of earnings, like if it wasn't a long-term play, I'd probably be trimming some.
Apple is scrapping work on reality glasses.
Did you hear that?
Hold on that. Yeah, I just heard that. So we'll wait. Adara is not at the desk yet, but she'll get over there. Possible news on Apple with reality glasses. So
My thing's not
scrapping them is what I just heard in my ear. So it didn't say Vision Pro. That's why it said reality glasses. So we'll find out about that. It doesn't seem to be affecting too much movement there. I mean, as far as how much money even they've sank into Vision Pro, obviously I didn't hear those words, but I don't think it's a lot. It's not a needle mover, I wouldn't think. I mean, they got rid of that car idea and sort of shifted over. I mean, honestly, I think if Apple ever starts to move money around, I think it's probably all going to shift over to AI, and I think a lot of people would like to see that anyways. So we'll wait to see if there is any news there on Apple. I saw Amy, got it. I saw Amy in the chat, just real quick. You asked about this SMR trade. It's right at VWAP, but it is from the morning. So someone, I think it was Damien or something, had mentioned, we really like this 24 to 24.50. We did get stopped out the first time we had it, but then when it broke back up, we took it, and oh boy, we got some out here, 26.50, 26.70, there again at the 50 period, then again at the 200 period, and now again at VWAP, so it is about to lose it. I may decide to get the rest out here. We only have less than 5% left. All right, Adara, what's up?
Actually, have Apple here. Here's the story. So apparently Bloomberg is reporting that they've canceled a project to build advanced augmented reality glasses that would pair with his devices. So this seems like a different project than Vision Pro or any other glasses related Apple projects we've heard about in the past, guys. Back to you.
Not just traders, like breaking news over here. You know what I mean? Like this is the thing. Like you're not going to get this. Like we're breaking this news. Meanwhile, I'm holding this position in the futures. We were just talking about SMR. We just did a rundown from everybody. We're looking at the chat as we go. I mean, this is the environment that we've built. I mean, this is why we're proud of it, right? I mean, and if you like it, like the stream, hit the like, hit the subscribe, keep coming back. Like, I really feel the next, just like the last couple months, and dare I say years, are going to be filled with random things happening.
This is not going to stop.
Like I never even heard Biden really speak about tariffs or about anything. Honestly, like this is not going to be completely true, but definitely not the way this is happening. And whenever, other past presidents, and Donald Trump was just the second last president anyways, like there's often not that kind of flip-flop like we even saw today where tariffs are starting March 1st, then they're Feb 1st, then they're March 1st, then it's oil, then it's not oil. And the thing is this is not a comment about the politics of it, it's the comment for the stock market.
It's the reality of the volatility.
Yeah, it's like imagine Apple coming out and saying, we sold more iPhones than we told you. Nope, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. And like back and forth. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of that happening. I feel like there's a lot of reporting, just like that Reuters story.
First of all,
the White House.
Yeah, like I mean, the Reuters and
like people.
I guess the last few times have been Bloomberg, not Reuters, but today was Reuters. Sometimes they're going to report stuff that they think is correct, and they're just dead wrong, and it gets corrected. But that's even better too. Like it's just it gives you trading opportunities. Anyone that was looking at GM or whatever it might have been, it could have been the overall market. You had time to literally digest that news and get in on the second push, which is when you get big events like that in the middle of the day, we're just not used to that. Presidents and I cannot remember the last time. I remember there was once in like 2017 or something, or no, it was before that. It was like 14 or 15. And it was like a VP said something at like 350 and it moved the market. But most of the time you don't get anything like that. So it's always good to have volatility. That's what you live for. But at the end of the day, it does mean you need to be tuned in. It's great. You guys have us here for you. But I just made sure, because when you said that Apple thing, I'm like, I still didn't hear it. I restarted it again, and now I am getting the news. Because I don't want to be...
There's been news since, but I'll tell you next time I hear something, hopefully you...
Well, it's now twice that I didn't hear it in my ears.
So Derek wrote this, and I'm going to try to cover this word up. I mean, you didn't pronounce it exactly, but... no. It says, with Trump in office, you need to tighten your stops or get on any given tweet or pop-up press conference. So I just wanted to say, thank you for everybody in the chat, and I think that's completely right, is get your stops. And I just, let me talk about this before I forget, because I did this and I forgot to talk about it.
Cancel some stuff.
So here's the TQs trade. The 50-period moving average is coming down. We nailed it. Everything's fine. We reloaded it there. We got to come to the chart just for a quick second. But my stop is right here now. I was going to stop out before up here, but not after that wick, touching the 50 and then falling back down. No. So like I keep missing all of these fills by like pennies. Like this is 20, 25 handles. Like these make a difference and I keep missing them. So I took one early and scalped it out, hoping that we'd get another opportunity, and we did. But where's that fail stamp? Like I'm super happy we're in the money. It's a good trade here. It's 15 handles in the money.
Tesla.
But yeah, Tesla's breaking lower. Okay, I just want to say to everybody before we go about stocks, is this trade right there, I like it. There it is, bang. Yes, sir. I don't know if we're going to get that free fall right now, but that's another trade right there on the futures going lower right now. We'll take another piece out there. I don't want to scalp all of this out. We still have half of this. Well, we have less than half of, I'm about to point to on my screen, less than half of this, but half of like all of the reloads. So we'll wait to see if we go to the downside right here. Here we go. This is a nice play, guys. Really nice play here on the futures. Now 40 handles in the money. Glad we talked about it. Let's get to the downside. We're still bidding 87s like we had mentioned before. So hands off. Hopefully we'll come back in. See, this is where I get nervous because I see it bouncing now. And I'm like, oh, 87, I'd hate to miss it. Then I put like a 92 or 93. Then it whoops down there. And I'm like, there. Bang! All right, Neil. Wow. Okay, here we go. We're almost at the highest spot I've been at all day, P&L wise, is basically right now. So let's see if this can continue, man. We called this play. Let's see if we can be rewarded right now. Neil, I know you talked about Tesla. Let's go.
I didn't want to interrupt, but
no, go. Yeah,
Tesla just, it did this. See the topping tail candle, rejection at exactly 410, and then did a prior bar break. So there it is, topping tail candle, prior bar close, and break of the low. So we're short that setup into 407. Where can you get to? Oh, you can get to anywhere on Tesla, but we broke out from this morning at 402. So as long as it holds this trend on a 15-minute, every candle is red since the Reuters thing. Every candle.
Boy.
So I think with Tesla, you want to stay short at least until 405. And every time it does a topping tail like this, I think you get an entry point here for Tesla. So let's see what happens. It does mean Rigetti probably, I tried to tag 14. It just went to the bottom of the trend line. Well, this could break the trend line here for sure, underneath 1370. If it does that, got to follow the rule, got to be able to jump out of the trade. So Tesla's the only new thing. And there was one more that I wanted to get to because I saw in the chat and I called it up maybe when it was brought up. Oklo, whatever it is. This is another one, hugging VWAP, trending down. I want to focus on Tesla. I want to give ARM a chance as well. But yeah, this also looks like it could really give up the ghost. Still up on the day, but underneath VWAP and kind of just breaking support. This could get a little bit nasty. Rigetti was just holding fine at VWAP. It just lost VWAP. I think it's just going to be the shorts here. If I wasn't going to be on Tesla, I think I'd be considering at least Oklo into VWAP here. So a lot of the earlier runners that were super strong, you can throw Google into this, although Google's still above VWAP. They're all starting to give it up a little bit here. But I like the weaker names. Tesla is a little bit weaker at this point. So let's see how far this one can get down. And every time it does this kind of a candle or stair step, want to try to get a re-entry. It's now done it twice since 413. Might not get the 413 that I wanted, so just got to take whatever setup the market gives me, which happens to be $4 lower. It is what it is. I'm going to say that a few times because it's now in my head to say it. So
yeah. I mean, I shouldn't have said anything to you about it because I know that would happen to me too.
It's in my head now.
Let it. Well, I mean, I think you said it. I know. I'll tell you if you're saying it less or more. Okay. Ramin says you're saying it the same amount of time, so it's all good. Okay, so here we go, man. I mean, look, we started the show. We started the show at 2 p.m. We didn't even do the rundown, and I went and said, whoops, we wanted this short. It broke right there. You know what time this was? 2:05 was this first fill. So now 35 minutes later, we're at the bottom with more reloads. What's up, Brendo? There it goes. Nice downside move there. The market's coming in. This is almost 1+% on this name alone. We just took another piece out right there at 50s. Those are my best fills. We are now 70 handles, 75 handles, 85 handles in the money, and just took another fill. And it's not like these aren't trades. I mean, Neil just put that on ARM and on Tesla. Like, we're doing it right in front of you one more time here today. We said that I like the short. I mean, there's the short. On that note, SMR, you know, again, less than 5%. We were 5% there. We got a piece out. We talked about that at VWAP. There's the loss on VWAP, and now I give this to 25 bucks. It'll still be that dollar winner, but we already took out some up here, basically similar amounts as we go. So it's all good. Like, if this breaks lower, it breaks lower. That's why you have to take this. We don't have any L's. We took an L the first time, then boom to the upside. Everything's been printing here on SMR. It's a big stock for me today. And we'll just hold that last 2.5% and see if it holds 25 bucks. You know, if it does, it does. This is how I trade. Scalp City. Welcome to the jungle. I'm going to take another piece out right here at 67, and boom, there it goes. All of these fills that I take, I basically get paid for adding liquidity. On that note, you can join Real Trading Campus Edition. Close enough. Right now, visit realtrading.campus, and we'll do that. We'll do that a little bit later. But there it goes, man. We are now, unfortunately, guys, we only have about 20% left of this futures trade right now, and I'm going to just hold on tight. So I don't have any. Literally, have no more bids. We put some bids in the 40s. My best fill there, and then we'll throw it back over to Neil to see what's going on. My best fill was 53s. So 83.53 was my best fill for 85 handles, and we'll see if this can extend. Look, I was pulling the chart down to see if it can extend. See if this can extend into where we were yesterday in the aftermarket, right? Like 83.25, 83, 82 and change. Let's see how far and how low we can go now for the NASDAQ. So no more bids, and I'm going to put one now, Neil, just as you did, man. Like, you don't know. Tesla could go that $4, $5, $6. If it does, you want to put your order there in case, like, there just could be like a whoosh news, right? We talked about that. Thanks for the super chat on that one. 83.20. I'm just going to put a bid for, let's call it half of what we have left. All right, so we have about 20 to 25% left, so we'll put it out for 10% of our total position. So if you're still in 10 contracts, this will be a 1 contract out for me down there. But again, if you're in 10 contracts still, that means you would have had 50 because I only have 20% left of this trade. So, all right, 83.20s, as I just said, I'm going there right now.
Yeah, there you go. You got to put the bids out. The market is about to go red. I saw in the chat, why is the market down or why is anything down? Again, if you're just tuning in right now, we have had nothing but red candles since that tariffs are back on, and they're back on. Well, you know what? Forget it's not back on. There was a report that they were going to be delayed a month, and then that was corrected by Trump, and it's been all red ever since. So it just it's dragging everything down. If you're like, why is someone just said SoFi is weak? Yes, SoFi is weak because everything is weak. This is the moment it happened. SoFi, like everything else, has been trending to the downside ever since. And look, I was long arm a second ago. Long arm. Yeah, long arm. The greatest character on the show, Cops. I was long when this broke trend to the upside, but it then held trend to the downside, so we jumped into the short in front of 61. It just tagged 60. Going to get some out at 59.5, see where we can go. It's still a relatively strong stock, but nothing is strong right now. I'm looking at Google and asking myself, why wouldn't Alphabet even lose trend here too? Like, if it's just like a play catch-up game, I haven't traded to the short side at any point today on Google. I've only been looking long off of VWAP, but the way this market's going, if this loses VWAP, why isn't this a short too? And maybe that applies to Palantir as well, though I think Palantir is probably beneath VWAP already. But everything is starting to bleed. So I got one more. I got another bid on ARM.
Oh my, Neil, we just got to 20s.
Wow, we just got to, okay, I might have a bid on Tesla as well. But shoot, Google, I was about to punch short on Google and I think I just missed it. Yeah, I got that. Wow. I got a little distracted, but
there was
we just broke trend on Alphabet.
Good trade.
We closed underneath. No, I didn't get into Alphabet. We're into only ARM
but you have
Tesla.
Short, yeah.
But if we hold underneath VWAP, then I should be shorting this and giving it back to 204.60, which is the prior bar. So I'm going to get my stop order in. We just closed underneath VWAP. So we're going to take the short there. That's the prior bar. Technically, it's 50, but I don't like a 50 stop, so the stop goes in at 60. So the market is absolutely flushing.
Oh my
It is
gosh.
one of
I have to stop.
these.
I have to stop getting out. Oh my. You know, what's that? You got clickety-clack, clickety-clack. You got that hot hand in a dice game right now. This is, we talked about it. There was that term that Adair coined, the Seanfidence. The thing is like, you don't even sometimes think that like these trades are possible sometimes. Like when I was just talking, I'm bidding 83.04 right now, by the way, for another piece. Like, I gotta hold on for a little bit longer. Maybe someone can help me with that. If any of you guys have any programs I could sign up for, no, just, all right, trading mentors, anybody like that? All right, like, there it goes. We're now 150 handles in the money, Neil, on this short that we called for you guys 40 minutes ago. Like, I mean, this is absolutely free 99 right now. This is absolutely a blast to be here with everybody and to be able to do this. I know this is a completely broken record, but like this is 160 handles now. Neil's got these shorts. All like, look what we're doing.
This is a bloodbath.
Look at this. It's not like we didn't call this. Like, I don't. You know what, man? We might just have to open up our own like little private trading room, you know, and just start to charge thousands and thousands a month. Like this is, no, we're not doing that. Look, this is an absolute
free.
That's why, like, we keep saying that.
Free 99.
And we've got content. We've got content going up on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
We got the NOS boss in the house. We got,
Mike
Options Joe.
I feel sorry that he's here because maybe if he was trading, he'd be short. You know,
He's got red on.
He is. Bang.
He is short. Of course he's short.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, here
the
we...
markets.
Yeah. Here we go. No, you know. All right, there it goes, man. I mean, we're able to get that. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to do any promo you need, baby. This is what we're doing. Day Trader Cut, thank you so much. This has just been, again, thank you to everybody for supporting the show and everything that we continue to do here. It's been one. So let's go over to Neil because let's just look at Tesla. Like we're staring at these futures.
We're about to get to that the spot, which was down at 402. So at this point, it's got to be a trend reversal, or we're just going to get 402. The other name that we're into, we took ARM. When it broke through, well, it didn't really break through. It held the trend line, now breaking. Got 160, it just tagged 159. We're gonna continue to go lower. Alphabet was a newer one. We took it, you saw me kind of miss the punch there, but yeah, you saw me miss the punch underneath VWAP, but we got some here at 204 quarters. It just up down through to 204. This is a little bit stronger, so I feel like it should have a little bit of a tighter stop for sure. But hey, at the end of the day, like the market's coming down. That doesn't even get to Apple here, which is now down 1.5%. Apple was up 4%? 4%. I think it was 4%. And now you are down one. It was 4%. Now you're down 1.5%. There's like 5 green candles on a 15-minute chart of Apple today. The day after they were gapping up on earnings. If you're into that sort of thing, and I'm done with trying to pick bottoms on Apple, but for anyone that's into it, it is that support from Wednesday if you're into it. But I am absolutely not. I don't think there's anything I'm in love with to the long side, but I do have a trail on in Tesla back through 5s at this point. Just like 5.25, I believe I have it at. So there it is. It just came to the 405. I said when it failed 410, I either wanted to get to 402 or 405. It's a Friday. Every $5 on a Friday in Tesla means something to me.
Huge.
Because, well, it's an options thing. And I kind of read into that as well. Like you tend to have gravity towards the bigger options strike prices. That's the word I'm looking for. Let's go take care of some business because, hey, if you're interested in trading on P Pro 8, there's a way to do that.
I was going to say, this is not even really business. This is just, what we want to try to get you guys into our platform as well. Right now we have Campus, so Real Trading Campus. Your real future awaits with Real Trading. Make sure that you do join us. This is open to, unfortunately, right now, Canadian residents only. But that's fortunate if you're in Canada, so we do this. Of course, this program is designed to teach participants how to become real traders and enjoy prop trading environment and give you the options to trade. This time around, U.S. equities. So we're really proud to do that. You get to explore all the different order types that we have right here on our platform, including basket orders, stop orders, market on close orders. We talk about, there he is, it's Mr. David Blacklock is back in the building. We'll talk about that in just a couple of seconds. What's up, David? Professional execution versus amateur. Be able to trade. I don't know if you're able to trade the futures or not, but eventually on the P-Pro 8 platform with Real Trading, you will have access to over 50 plus markets. It's a great spot to sit with right now and enjoy the campus program open to Canadian residents. If you don't scan it and apply right now, then I don't even really want to we'll still be friends. I mean, but it's an opportunity you should not pass up if you are indeed interested to that. Thank you, Ramin, for rolling it. All right, it's Mr. Blacklock. He is back in the building. This dude has been crushing it so far this month. Many super chats. We want to thank you so much. I have not read the note. Let's read it together. I challenge myself to make... I'm not even reading it. Just going to play this for a second.
Just show it. Oh, you have it up.
You might show it. I don't have that much in my pocket right now.
No. I mean on the screen.
Oh, on the screen. Yeah, I got it. Realized a $100,000 gain. I mean, I only have half of that on me, in January. That is honestly amazing. That's hair tingling money right there, honestly. Adding to today's $8,100, mostly on Neil, hit something. I'll do it. You do it. Rigetti. There it is. Okay. I owe you guys big time. And thank you so much. He follows our directions.
Did you see that word?
Assiduously? Thank you for calling me out for missing that. And I'm glad that I potentially pronounced that correctly.
You pronounced it perfectly. I'm going to assume because it's a school word that I'm sure Darren knows better than me.
I mean, look, we will take that. David will take that $100 and maybe we'll do something special. David, why don't you message us? What is your favorite lunchtime food? And we'll do something on air next week for Sharif and Joe and if you say brisket, you say brisket. And then we'll
say brisket.
Yeah, we'll get
whatever you do.
Yeah, we'll get food for Ramin, everybody, Fabian in the black, because honestly, man, they're the one putting this show on, and we couldn't do anything without you guys. Really all right, Adair's been chomping at the bit there, so I apologize.
Really good brisket place.
Neil, we got to throw it over, man. I know I'm down with brisket.
Okay, I know.
See, now what you've done, I was ready to throw it over.
I'm just saying.
All right,
there's a really good brisket place. Really
just throw it to her.
I just wanted to let you guys know there's a little bit more talk here on tariffs. CNN reporting that senior Canadian officials are going to meet with U.S. officials. Apparently here the borders are Tom Homan today in hopes of staving off these tariffs. So keep an eye on names like GM or Ford, which really do have a little bit of move here when we have these tariff announcements. Guys, again, potential here of Canadian officials trying to talk to U.S.'s borders are. Back to you.
It's Magna.
Well, I bought some Magna at some point. That's going to be a tariff.
Oh, my wife still owns Magna. That's going to be bad. This is a bad chart. Yeah, this is a bad chart.
My wife doesn't own any stocks.
Oh, well.
I wish she did, though.
No, seriously. I'm 99 point. What? I don't know. She wouldn't get mad if I said this, but Magna Magna's on some bad levels. Yeah, so that's a Canadian auto parts maker. Well, obviously, where do you think the tariff's going to go? So that's a stock. And if you're in the Toronto market, then obviously that's one you might be aware of. So the market's still going down. And shout out to David. Brisket is fantastic.
Is that what he said? I didn't see. I'm waiting for him. Did he say?
No, I'm putting words in his mouth. Because I just, I like brisket. We've done hot wings challenges before. I think I'd just like to just have some good
not
food.
Wings. We're not going to do wings.
Yeah, we've done wings before.
Last week, so
we'll have some fun, and maybe we'll crack one in your honor. I think that's awesome. And I think the best part about it is you were trading Rigetti.
Oh shoot, we should get some beer right now.
Rigetti was a monster.
Somebody send us something.
No, Rigetti was perfect. Look at the stock today. That's a day trader's dream stock. Rigetti, clean breakout, trended for an hour, trended back down to VWAP, trended back up to the top, trended back down. Obviously, should have had 4 shorts, not 3 just now, because look at that break of the trend line. This is exactly what ARM just did. Why am I not short? It's precisely the same move. Holding trend, break trend long, fail trend, hold trend under, go short. ARM is basically the same trade. Break trend, reverse it, hold trend under, go short, which I should probably reload underneath VWAP here. If it holds 160.5, which is where I'm going to move my trail to from 161, then I should reload this stock. Another one here, Ike Release. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for being the
more out.
GD best. I know what you meant there, but I know what you meant. I learned so much from you and had an amazing day going long and short today. That's the thing. We said no free fall Friday today, and that's what it was until the news hit. But then you had to be able to reverse. So get it, Trader TV fam. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Get it,
sir.
get it, get it.
Ike.
Yeah, so, quick update. So I canceled my stop because I want to talk about where we should maybe put it right now for the TQQs. Remember, so we only had 25%, and then we got that 20 fill, which was for about half of that. So that left me with about 15%. Then we just started taking out 2% every time. So right now, we only have left like 7-8% left as it came back into 83. There's another piece, there's another piece. So I want to look at this 50-period moving average because it's coming up right now. And if it breaks that, we had not broken the 50-period moving average since about $3 ago here at 1 p.m. So that's the 50-period moving average on the 1-minute chart. We often get questions about what are we looking at? You know, what are these levels? What are the marks on our screen? If you ever see purple ticks, I know it might be hard to see, but the purple is the best that we thought we could come up with. Those are short sells. Greens will always be bids or buys, either covering a short, which this is, or buying into a long. And then what did I go long today? I went long Apple. So here, that was disastrous. But right there, wow. Like part of being disciplined is this.
Have a stop.
Like David Blacklock, everybody in the chat, like you don't make $100,000 by being wrong and holding something like this, you know, because there goes your $100,000 in one trade. Like, because you have to put on shares to make money. So I assume if you're doing $5,000 a day, which is fantastic, you're putting on some kind of risk. So I guess you wouldn't lose 100 in one trade. But at the end of the day, you got it. So I'm really, even though we lost on Apple, I'm actually pretty excited that I had the discipline to get out and stay away. Honestly, I just upset that we didn't go short. So anyways, reds would be covering of long positions. So those are sells, and the TQs, the purples are short sells. All right, so there's, again, instead of me yabby all the time, which what else is new? You know, we could have reloaded right there, you know, but we didn't. So what I wanted to say here was if we break, that would be 84. I'm just going to up a little bit and think about getting out maybe 84, some of these cover spots, 84.05, 84.10. So that's where I'm going to put the stops. It would still only be a 30-handle winner, but we've covered enough down here now that I'm fine with letting this go back up to the upside. If you haven't covered anything, this could be a good spot because I just feel that there could be a lot of like-minded traders that may also look to cover on that 50-period break. We are getting record viewers now. And I mean, I've spoken to many expert traders that have said that, hey, these lines that we have up on here, these are the money. So if they break, they break. You got to be careful with it. Here goes the TQQs right now. Just be really careful with your positions as we go. What's up, Andre?
Only because a couple of people have said it on the chat.
That's a better posture.
That More Trader TV dashboard does have incorrect positions.
Yeah,
it was working. It was working at one point today.
Really?
No, it was. But like Sean's not long Nvidia. You can see here he's short. It says he's long Nvidia, and it's.
Oh no, that position board is wrong. Huh? I'm not in Nvidia, actually.
Huh? You're not? Oh.
Wait a second. What's Nvidia at? Yes, I am. I am short that price right now on Nvidia. No, I'm not.
Dude, I actually. Okay.
I mean, if I was, you guys.
No, I thought you were too. Like, it's.
Get some help.
I'm
Okay.
only in the queues. I mean, I wish I was.
It's right for me. That's right. I'm short ARM at 160.66. So I guess, yeah, we'll have to restart that. Thank you for
I was getting all this credit.
No, thank you guys for pointing it out. Oh, I actually didn't even realize it was wrong, to be honest with you. Because if you look at where. No, but look at the chart of Nvidia. No, seriously, what?
No, I know. I'm not in it. I was just looking at it. That's where I got
No, but look at the line. Look at 124, and this is why I was like, yeah, it's probably right because I was long into 124, and it seemed like if you were going to reverse it, like where else would you have reversed it? Look, breaks down, holds, resistance. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like right before we came on, 123.98, but apparently that's incorrect. Wow, Nvidia, 2% to the downside. This is getting hairy. But that said. Nvidia, there's an hour left. This morning, I was like, if Nvidia gets down to 117, 118, that's where I want to look for the dip. All of a sudden, that's a heck of a lot more realistic than it was when we sat down. Well, at any point today, at the end of the day. But it's not impossible. I think it would take a lot to get down there. But when we were chilling out at 122, I was like, if we have a breakdown, I want to go for a long off 17-18s on Nvidia. I think we might actually have a chance at a bounce zone there. So ARM's the only thing I have left. So we're out of Tesla. Might look for some kind of a reentry. ARM is holding on to this trend line. I didn't really get the reload at VWAP there. Might have to try to get 160s there. So yeah, thank you, Ramin. Ramin has corrected it on both channels. I'm going to try and reload on trend in ARM and see where I can find a reentry on Tesla, which that was a pretty good bounce. It didn't give as obvious an entry this time. Like last time, it was an obvious topping tail candle through 409. Oh. So just short back underneath 409. This time, it just kind of rolls over like a, I don't know, I can't think of something.
The futures are tanking right now. So we actually have been, that was great for us there on the futures. I'm going to call that up in just a second. Yeah, so Nvidia is my P&L number one, even after this futures play. Well, we're still in it, but it'll be close. Anyways, this is my number one trade today. We had it early. We had it at 8:30. There's the long. It was absolutely huge there on news. Come on, futures. This is starting to become something right now. So we'll let this nasty animation go by. Get off the screen.
That one's terrible. It's the other one.
I know, I like the other one. But anyways, here we go. So there it was off VWAP and the 200 period moving average. There's the 120. This is really the one that sent it to the moon because we were willing to play that top break. So despite us averaging in, like we just bought 123.50 and then about 10 minutes later after that, we bought 125s. Like that was how confident. And there's the blast up into 127.50. So like Nvidia gets going, man. And then there's the reload and we go, oh boy, we sat back down. This was live with Sharif and Joe. We came right back from the gym and then we just were like, you know what? It's at this 124 level. We'll take it against 124. Boom goes the dynamite. And then there's that piece where we got out. So that's where it was showing me short. But that was an out. And then as I said, I wish we were short. All right. It's happening again. The hold is happening right now. We'll go props up to anybody that stayed in this trade. We had just talked about where you could possibly reload it. We didn't do it. Let it drip back down in now. 10% left. I know. Oh. I really hope you guys are short, like net short right now on everything. This is coming in. Let's look at something else though really quickly. What other names you guys want? Like if I keep looking at this trade, like I should maybe just block out the P&L. What's up, Neil? Block out the P&L because like every time I look down, I'm like bid, cover, but like just stay. I got to talk to Michael Noss about like trying to figure out like why I'm doing this every time. Okay, but again, don't change your style, right? Like that's the important thing. I can't come on here and say we've had a big week and then be like, I need to change. So we'll just continue to watch out to see what winds up happening. Let's just zoom out and see where there's a level for the futures. Like we talked about how low we could go here on that. You know what? Let's use the NASDAQ. But for the TQs, I'm just going to look at simple support and resistance. Yesterday in the after hours or just right before earnings, right there at 1540. Like I don't know what happened yesterday at 3:30. Oh yeah. My bad, actually. It was the tariff. So there was that announcement that brought us all the way back down. Well, guess what? That announcement is still happening. So we get Apple earnings that bumped us up here today. But guess what? Now Apple turns red, I think, or close enough to it. So then why not re-look at what this tariff bottom was? So that would be 82.25s or so, which is about $1 more from here. So that's another 100 handles. We're in from the top right now, about $1.50 or so that's that 150 handle mark. But if you look at the NASDAQ, let's just find where the NASDAQ low was on that tariff move. So you're going to come right into here. So 21,450. So that's about another 100 handles down right now. And again, we talked about it when it was up here. I was like, there ain't no free fall Friday. But I said, but what happens when this loses? And that's where the short started. So the fun is just beginning right now, and honestly, we're going to hold this into the close. It's only 304. Neil, this market, like we are now 200 handles in the money on this. So here we go, man. It is now coming in. I'm going to try to pick up some of this in the long-term account if we get a little more nasty.
I want to buy something.
But right now we are dripping down in, and we'll take another out right there on the TQs, man. So yeah, let's continue to look to add some more to this play. I like this play a lot.
You just reminded me I may want to buy something as well. When market moves like this, I usually try to pick something up. But hey, everybody, are you a skilled trader but lacking capital? Well, prop firms offer you the opportunity to trade with simulated funds, allowing you to showcase your skills, access account sizes ranging from 5 to 500,000, and you can start with as little as 20 bucks. But with over 500 prop firms out there, how do you find out which are the best? That's where Prop Firm Match steps in. Prop Firm Match is your go-to platform for finding and comparing only the most esteemed firms with proven track records and consistent long-term payment histories. Get that money out. Access over 4,500 verified reviews, explore payout histories, and discover the best current deals all in one place. Scan the QR code or visit propfirmmatch.com today and find the perfect prop firm for you. I also like that color scheme. It's a nice color scheme. It's like, it's got the purple going on there. It's not really purple, but whatever. My wife tells me that I'm colorblind, so it's close enough. And when the market is short around here, that means purple, not red. So hold on to your shorts, hold on to your butts. I did obviously just miss the reload on ARM here at the 160 level, but it's still dropping. Kind of bidding the 158. I feel like we should let it fly. Here's a 15-minute chart. I'm asking myself, why am I bidding it? There's a big gap fill. I want to be able to add to this if the market's only down 0.19% at this moment. So I think there's an opportunity maybe to add to that position if I can. By the way, that Rigetti, my goodness, Rigetti's now down at 13 bucks. I understand not everybody. I was mad at myself for not reversing this trade here, and it was pointed out not everybody can short Rigetti with your broker. I'm here to tell you that one of the advantages here at Real Trading is locates on Rigetti were, I want to say, like 1/10 of 1 cent or something like that per share. Very, very cheap locates, which is a big advantage trading on a prop firm, especially one like here at Real Trading. I can't speak for anybody else, like what it might be at your broker. Probably not easy to borrow, but that's the advantage, because when something like this happens, you can try to, I guarantee you this, anybody can show, like Tesla is always going to have locates and Apple's going to have locates, but stock like Rigetti, not everybody can go short that. And oftentimes you can get like the crazier moves. You saw it on the way up. You're now seeing it on the way down as well. So good look over there for anyone that did get that reversal. The SPY, same thing as the Qs, man. I mean, what's the difference? They both have one. I know I just saw someone in the chat say SPY question mark. SPY has one. The difference is one candle green in both of them since we had the news on a 15-minute. You are into the lows. As I said with Apple, if you're into that sort of thing, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole for the reversion play. But 60, on the futures anyway, 65.7 looks like it's the local bottom here from yesterday. So that would be a spot if you're looking for reversion, I suppose. Not that I think that is the jam today. On the SPY, that would be obviously a different price. But yeah, it's exactly the same thing. The NASDAQ SPY, it doesn't make a difference. Pretty much everything gave up the ghost that I'm looking at. Even the strong stocks, or like stocks that are up, stocks that are looking strong are all giving it up today. Like maybe we get a late day runner in like, I don't know, the GameStop or some kind of squeeze name. Like if you see a squeeze name going, or a like low float name or a short float name that's running higher, I just, like on my trade rate thing, I've got SPY and like seriously, like I know it's crazy. My trade rate is SPY, Nvidia, Palantir, Rigetti, Qubits, D-Wave, Broadcom, TQQ, Tesla. Like there's no small caps in here. Like sometimes there'll be something in there that's a runner, but it is all the trade rate is all the big stuff, like the market going. So it's if there's something we're missing, you guys let us know. We don't mind talking about the small cap names as well. There's just nothing popping off that I see. I'm going to be mad at myself over. We're able to get 3 good shorts, but the first one that we had is going to suck. This one, I got stopped out. I got up, set a stop order, and then right after that, the news hit. But the second one is the problem sometimes with taking the low of the day. Sometimes you want it to run the low of the day and then get it the second time through. which would have been just as good. That said, I think Tesla was better than AMD. AMD down 2.5%. I can only imagine how bad it is for Intel today. Intel's probably isn't it?
I thought you were going to look it up because I was like interested. I was like, I was waiting for you to do it.
That's my bad.
1950, yeah, it's down 3%. So this was, I tried the long earlier.
I tried VWAP long on Intel today. Another look at this one. It's the same thing. Can you come to my chart for a second?
Yeah.
I was long VWAP once, twice, 3 times. I think the best move was like 8 cents, 9 cents, or something like that. It breaks. Look at the reversal. Now, can you know that the news was going to happen? But look at that reversal. Like it's holding underneath VWAP after holding above, flat bottom break, 10 cents worth of risk, and now it's at 19.5. The stock wants 18 and it wants it bad. $18.50, 52-week low on Intel. Unless they announce a CEO in the next couple of days, maybe you see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're all hoping for. I mean, Intel didn't really say anything to garner much attention there on the earnings report there. Oh, did we get this one? Okay, what's up to live? Live for powder. Okay, hopefully you mean baking powder. Thanks, Sean, for showing the way on the TQQs. Sat down 30 minutes ago after going to the gym, now up $3,000. We prop up for that. You are welcome, Live for powder. Okay, why am I out of the Nvidia short? I was never in the Nvidia short. That was the thing about it. So, well, Nvidia is going to be. So, by the way, we just took out another piece right there on the TQQs. We have a light piece left. We've talked about that now. We're just getting out of percentage points here on the way downside. So Nvidia is going to be my P&L number one. So that this trade and the futures trade are going to be both right up there. But yeah, so I just went long Nvidia. We long. It was fantastic. I mean, that's $3 there. Then we retraced it back for about $1 up to the 200 period. Then it was like, whoops. And again, each one of these is about 10%. So again, pretty profitable trade. But there was the break. And the thing is, our trade monitor there, because they're all hooked up together to our trading software. So sometimes there'll be a hiccup or they'll have to restart it. And it just thought that I was going short there. So I like Neil had mentioned, it was great level, like breaking through 124. I was really proud of getting out there. And it reminds me.
I had exactly the same.
Yeah, and it reminds me of Apple. Because this is that Apple trade right here where I kind of wish I was short right here. And we were long into Apple. This is my worst stock of the day. Basically the only red stock. We were in and out of Roblox. I'll show you that too. That's actually a red name. Up on TQs, up on SMR, up on Nvidia. Oh, down on Intel, my bad. Up on BABA, down on Apple. So it's kind of flat on the names today, but there it goes to the downside. And that was that 240 break. So feeling pretty good that we stayed away, but look at this 50 period. It tested it. Well, I shouldn't have whistled. I know that sounds bad to you guys. Right there, 236 was a good reload spot right there. Just as it was for these exact futures. I mean, all of this 50 period has been great. We should have a mark there.
Even Palantir.
I should have a mark. Even if it's for 10%, should have one. That's that's no good there. But yeah, anyways, thanks for the super chat. You're welcome for those trades. I hope a lot of you got those. Follow me and you don't have to follow the trades. Follow us all on X and on Instagram as well. So. Yeah, if there's any names. Oh, Roblox apparently right now is moving. It's hitting some of the scanners. Yeah, so there it is. So this is, again, here's the VWAP scanner by eSignal. Neil just showed you the trade rate. You can scan that QR code right now. And I can't believe that we're able to pull this off, but it's a month free. So if you scan that eSignal code, even if you have a charting software, just do it, get the eSignal platform. Anyways, there's Roblox right now. The time, you don't have to have the date or anything on there. It's kind of the default. You can have anything you want in there as a description, but Roblox hitting VWAP is what it's trying to tell me right now. And there's the breakdown on Roblox. This was a trade that we had earlier. We talked about it. It was good. The long was good, but not before this happened. And that goes to that whole point of, we got someone, I highlighted it before, and it was, you got to have stops, even if they're going to look like this, where you get in, you take the profit, then you reload part of it, and then it whoops, falls out on you. Those trades are going to happen because, just like if let's just say you play short and you don't stop out, then you have to have this happen to you. So right now, whoa, okay, now we're starting to break down. So there we go. See that VWAP scanner again. Like that was at 71.14. We just touched down to 70.80 there. So a nice little take on Roblox as that continues to go down. And the futures, again, like testing days low here, down. What is the SPY down? Is it just NASDAQ? No. So the ES is actually down more right now than the NASDAQ. So that's, to me, it's a little interesting. I don't know.
Okay, well, Apple's weighting in the S&P's bigger than the NASDAQ,
what
right?
are the financials down today?
I was gonna,
No, Apple should be higher weighted in the NASDAQ.
Is it more in the NASDAQ? Maybe it is the financials. That would make it would make sense if the financials were having a bad. I'm just checking my quote board right now. This is just for myself.
JP Morgan's only down 0.2.
Okay, it's not all that bad.
Yeah,
What's green on my quote board? These are just stocks that are on my quote board. Broadcom's
There we go.
The problem is everything is down from this morning, but so many things are still up from last night, which is hilarious. So it's kind of deceiving when you look at it.
Yeah, let's do this.
It's got to be something. It's got to be.
All right, so right here. So it's energy. Oh, yeah, obviously.
Oh, of course it's
What the?
McFly. Hello.
Someone just. That's it, Fabian.
Stop it. Get some help.
No, that was pretty bad. No, obviously energy. Obviously.
We were talking about, we had Raheem on earlier. We were talking about energy. We were showing you USO. We were talking about the tariffs and all that. But okay, so in a second, Michael, wait one second, Ramin here for a second. I just started a segment myself. Hold on.
Should have got that.
Okay, my bad. All right, so there it is right there. Energy, then the materials sector, and then information technology as we start to go to the downside there. Comm services still up. Maybe that's a meta situation. And then, again, you can break this down by clicking on it and then getting into the components, which are right here. They have lots of other software that can do this as well. But there's Exxon, one of the top takes there. Exxon down. Look at your Chevron. Not your Chevron. I think a lot of us own Chevron.
I have it at 140, 142.
Yeah, exactly. Down. Oh, great price. What 140? What
140,
Chevron?
142. Yeah.
Oh, this says 149. Might be.
No, that's what I have.
That's you have that.
That's my recent.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, down 4.5% right there for Chevron today. EOG Resources down 3 and a bit. Fang Diamondback Energy down 3.5, and the big dog. I guess these are both pretty big, but ExxonMobil as well down almost 3%. I will do much better by checking out this sector board more often. But right now, it's a 200 handle winner on the NASDAQ. And without any further ado, as we break lows, let's go find out what's going on with our friend Michael and Adara.
We just here with Michael Noss, of course, and you said you were looking a little bit at the sector board right now as well. Really great transition there, actually.
Yeah, and I think it's absolutely the right thing to do, especially in this kind of market. I always get questions about, okay, as a swing trader, market's tanking, what do you do? And yeah, I bring up my sector board here. This is just mostly red because, of course, that's what's going on. I think I jinxed us with this shirt, but it is what it is. But you can take a look at what's up, right? Natural gas, that's one that's very interesting, and consumers, because the idea here is we're always looking for relative strength and relative weakness. When the institutions are selling off the market, what are they not selling? So we can start to look at names like natural gas actually putting in a pretty big bottoming tail. If we're looking to buy pullbacks into the late day, this is something that's interesting to me. And then I also just have the same kind of list, just looking at the entire S&P 500. We can go through these top names and just notice what is holding on when it comes to what's going on. So one thing that focused there me is Ben. So Franklin Templeton or Franklin Resource. What a candle here in comparison to what's happening. So a really good exercise with not much time left in the day on a really red day, as opposed to spending your time being very sad about what's going on, is take your time and see what are they not selling off, because I think that's going to be a good place to go to.
That was a really great way of looking at it there. Thank you very much, Michael Noss. We're going to go back to the guys.
Thank you very much, Michael. What's crazy about that is I know Michael was probably resisting the temptation to point out that natural gas was still doing okay. I know he's long nat gas.
Oh, Sharif?
What?
Sharif, right? Is that what you meant?
No, Michael's long nat gas. They're both long natural gas. The Widowmaker itself, for
But
sure.
UNG was up today, isn't it?
Oh, who says, oh, come on now. ZST Inc. Who cares about Canada tariffs? I don't like maple syrup anyways.
I mean,
maple syrup, and
who
look,
said that in the chat?
You've never had real maple syrup, so here's this. ZST Inc., if you are ever in Canada, my in-laws have their own. They make their own maple syrup. They do it every single year. I go up and help them in the spring, and it's
You are an amazing
have,
son-in-law.
You gotta have the real. Well, I get.
Yeah, you better get
the maple
boatloads of them.
syrup,
You also
like,
gave them the
boatloads for
grandkid,
free.
man. I mean, what you better
So,
be getting a lot more than
it's a
maple
lot of
syrup, my guy.
It's a lot of work if you don't
putting
have
you to
the. There's like an automated setup you
I
can do
know.
where you
Yeah,
string
yeah.
the thing.
I love maple
It's
syrup.
none of that, man. I'm hauling buckets when I go up there and do it.
Yeah, you
Although,
are.
Obviously,
yeah, Neil. Yeah,
What?
you know what, Neil? Actually, very good point by Ramin.
What?
Next time you're up there should be how many people working here? You know, I mean, you bring a couple of those bottles through.
So last year was a really bad year, and they got
you were
like
saying.
they got like a third of what we usually get. So we actually didn't even have our unlimited supply last year. Hopefully
that
this
was
year,
weird.
hopefully this spring's going to be better for it, and then I'll definitely, of course, I would share. with
Do you know
guys.
how many trees they tap? Like, do you know the number?
Oh
Or-
goodness,
I know, it's crazy.
It's
I
at
know.
least a few dozen.
Yeah,
maybe
a few
like,
dozen. No, it's
Yeah, a couple.
way north of that, in the
few
hundreds, I would say, if you ask.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I'd have
Isn't it
to-
maple syrup farm, or they just do it?
No, they just have it
don't
on their
sell
property. They
Oh,
don't
okay,
sell.
so yeah, maybe
they
it's-
don't sell it.
Okay.
But they get a
Sorry,
lot.
I thought they had sort of a farm there.
Kind of could, but I don't think they want to. No, seriously, maple syrup is amazing. You should try it. It's great for sweetening things. I don't know why I don't know why I'm selling
Natural
it.
sugars.
It's just a
Well,
natural
because
sugar.
you took offense to the guy saying that.
No, I just thought it was fun. Maple syrup
yeah.
is really good.
Obviously,
it's
we're not-
really, really good.
we're not taking it.
So the market's still falling.
personally
Nothing.
over here.
Oh, Rigetti's bouncing. Okay, there's something. This is the first. Every stock I'm looking at is holding trend down, except for Rigetti. Rigetti just broke up here in a decent way. Oh yeah, right through 13. So there is the distinct trend. You guys can obviously see it. Maybe if Rigetti can hold this 13 here, that would be a nice little spot. Oh, you need to have that punch. 13 even. See, you talk about maple syrup. The maple syrup goes
Man,
against.
that Rigetti looks like a sticky situation. You know?
I'm going to take
syrup.
a little bit and just give it to the underneath 13. It's about 1-to-1 till a prior trend line, so kind of taking that bar, but you really want to have it down there. So just get in for less. Rigetti is up 7% today, and I would say in terms of strong stocks, the other thing you got going for it on Rigetti is look at the nice little support level that it's bouncing from here. So that 12 level, where it's going, like it makes sense for Rigetti to have some continuation because it held major. Look at this support on Rigetti. So I want to look for longs. Ideally, it would be at 12, but the mean revert happened here at 13, so I'll take a shot. The short obviously was the way to go. Clearly, when I got out of that, you got to get out.
Okay.
But I should have reversed the short, and I paid for locates and didn't take it. Going to take some out in front of 13.30 because that's the prior trend line, and see if we can't get to VWAP on Rigetti. It's already 320, so we're going to have early looks on imbalances pretty soon. But I wanted to find something that was giving you any kind of a real mean reversion. That's the first one.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, like, someone there was talking about, is there any extra sugars added to maple syrup? Absolutely not.
No.
It's actually almost too sugary. Like, it's a sweet sugar. Like, it's an all natural. Like,
it's
it
very
tastes way different. If you've never had it, I was going to say this is a wicked thing to do.
Yes,
You just got to trust the environment because it's snow, you know? So if you want to eat the snow. But you pour basically maple syrup hot on, I don't even think it really has to be that hot, onto this snow, and then you can wrap it up. You get like a little, either, this is a popsicle stick, but anything really, and you could just wrap it up, and then it's just like, oh my. Like that is the delicacy right there. Anybody, I mean, people, again, there's way colder places and way more snowier environments in the United States than there is right here in Toronto, Ontario, and even north of here. Like check out Minnesota, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Chicago. I'm just thinking about the NFC North, but many other places get crazy weather. Philadelphia, let's go to the NFC
bad in
East.
Philly.
New York.
The lake effect in Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo, and NFC East, New England. I mean, all of these places, if you look it up, the percentages of snow in however they measure it, their metric, I don't know.
Do they measure it?
I have no idea, but I guarantee you that Toronto and even like an hour north, there's a lot more snow.
Oh, for sure.
An hour or two north of even of where we are right now. So
like we barely.
I've shoveled the driveway once this year, maybe twice. I think we did it like last weekend.
That's two more times than me.
Exactly. So there you go. Well, but yeah, that's because you don't have the guy shoveling it. But
I actually might be able to now.
By the way, the queues are
shout out
going
to you,
down.
Calve.
What's
I'll
up,
keep shouting
Calve?
you out. No, I was literally doing
By the
Like,
way,
I was
when
doing
your
step
physio
ups,
guy is
man.
talking about like crypto and quantum and everything like that, that makes me nervous. I just gotta be honest with you.
No, he's not like a fly by the night. Like
Right, he's actually
like
doing
he
the work.
reads up. Like
Because it wasn't your barber.
He's more well versed on crypto than by a long
Right.
shot
Oh,
than
that's
I
good.
am,
Yeah.
and he's been playing and investing in crypto for years. My barber, shout out to I love you, Keith. He's a great dude, but he's more.
You can
like,
say I love you even louder than that if you want. I mean,
no, I love it. Keith's a great
There we
dude,
go.
man. Like I've been going to the same barber forever, but no, like he was more. I was trying to getting him into like Qs and Tesla, like, get
Right.
some stable
Exactly,
stuff in there,
investing.
because he was taking some shots in crypto, but no, Kaveh knows his stuff.
Render coin.
Shout out to him.
Isn't it so funny that it's like, you're talking about that, and I was thinking last night, so I went to the dentist, and he knows, because we're literally right beside, so he actually knows about the show, and he was asking me about all these different coins. It was the same thing. I'm like, dude, like, you're a dentist, man.
Sometimes-
like, don't worry about coins. Like, you probably already made it. But he was talking about a project called Render, so maybe I'll have to look that up.
That I don't
If anybody in there wants to know. And then he said that he had the opportunity to grab it. He was looking at Trump coin and did not play it, and obviously regrets it. And that's the thing, right? It's like, it's that FOMO. And if you know what you're doing, like it sounds like your physio guy does,
he has a good-
then, I mean, that's the edge that you all want. You want that edge in everything, whether or not it's whatever it is, whatever you're doing, Chef Joe or a mechanic or a lawyer, anything, you want to have something that you can specialize in and
Especially,
focus on.
even like trade what you know. Like
That's
I had a
it.
buddy,
It's
and
way
this
easier.
is the best example of this. I had a friend, like friend from like when I was a childhood friend is the word I'm looking for, who essentially he went in the sciences, and I'm talking like real, like real chemistry, working in
Yeah, I
labs,
know
that
this
kind
story.
of
I
thing.
know where you're going.
And then he ended up not really loving it and got into finance. Well, what do you think that gave him a gigantic edge on? Being like analyst for pharmaceuticals. Like that is, I can't tell you how many times I'm reading one of those reports in the morning or Tish is talking about this thing. It's like, look at the news on this stock. I'm like, yeah, and it's all gobbledygook to me. And let's read the chart here because I don't know if that's a breakthrough or not. And I remember sitting down with him and like gave him a random report from a stock that morning when we had lunch. He's like, oh, that's trash. It's actually not even that good news. He's explaining why. None of it made sense to me. And you looked at it, and then the day after it spiked after the news, it was like down 10 days in a row.
Right.
Because he was trading what he knew. So whatever you have knowledge of, it could be a certain sector or business, apply that to your swing or investing to the best of your ability because it can be absolutely invaluable.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I mean, this is what we're trying to. What? So people are actually in this Render coin? Okay, now you got me interested
What is
right
it?
here.
I don't know.
No, it's an AI token. Because I was talking to him all about AI, right? And he was saying that he was in a project. So I'm going to look this up right here on CoinGecko. RNDR. Is that what it is? I got to look at it against. Where do I look at it against? Oh, I guess just my wrapped ETH. Okay, it's gonna take a moment. We'll do this when it loads. I'll get back to this. It's taking a second to load that up. So we'll look at RenderCoin in a couple seconds, I guess. All right. Right now the TQs are going. I mean, I'm not gonna look at it as anything other than just interest. But there it goes. We don't have on our platform right now. We only have a few coins, and they're all the main ones. So that's why Neil and I will just trade mainly iBid. You have to sort of set up your keys, and it's in an infancy right now. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Okay, so 82.30, 82.40 right now. We took out some more right now. We have about 5% left. I'm just going to get it all out. I think if we take this 50 period, so that would be right there, 83.20. I'm going to get out, but like 83.20 is like 80 handles higher than where we are right now. This is just a huge trade, and it's really sort of capping off what's been a great week and hopefully into a great weekend. I want to thank everybody for being here. There's only a half hour away. Michael will be joining Neil, I hope, on the market recap show. So that should be an absolute banger. So get ready for that one coming up after hours. Q&A probably, review of the weekly earnings.
Oh, 100%. Ask us anything. Get your questions ready.
Yep.
We're blessed to have Michael in studio, so I'm willing to. We can talk anything you guys want to talk. It's a Friday. It's going to be fun. I did want to answer you had a question a couple times from Z here.
Oh, okay.
And notice how I said Z, not Z, because I still think that's the right way to say it. Can you take a look at news for Coin? I'm up huge on your short today. Congratulations. Think they acquired a blockchain company that was pretty expensive. So I went to look for it. I didn't see that news for today. Like I pulled it up. Maybe Adara had something, but when I looked at Coinbase, I didn't find the news. What I can tell you is when you have an event, like whatever Coin was doing changed right when we had that tariff headline, right? So everything changed at this point. And it's now got a very distinct trend that if you're short, if you happen to be short and it starts working, well, right now that trend breaks at 290. So like, hold on.
Guys, Nvidia.
That's what I'm looking at for, like even ARM here. Like I slapped another trend line from VWAP actually. So I slapped this trend line on from VWAP, and I'm just gonna trend out of this because there's your turn. It tried to hold the long, it then turned into the short, and if it breaks above the trend line, I'm just gonna get out. And then I tried one before we go to Adara, when this trend here on Rigetti ended up breaking, kind of jumped into the long here. And if it breaks this prior bar underneath, which is like 12.95, I think, I'm jumping out of the trade. But yeah, I like the trends at this point. When you trend this much, one direction or the other, I think like, trend in, trend out. Like I'll get in on a trend break, but I'll also get out on a trend break. Let's go to Adara.
Broke around 11:30 a.m. during the midday show. I did do a throw about it, and the stock didn't really react that much. Coin basically this morning around 11:30 announces that they have acquired Spindle. It's not blockchain, it's actually on-chain related. So apparently this is a company that allows for on-chain ads. And so apparently that acquisition will help them accelerate the future of their on-chain ads. The release was not super clear, a lot of jargon here, but regardless, COIN acquiring Spindle. Again, not blockchain, on-chain. Back to you.
I
If I knew what that meant, that'd be great. But yeah, so there you go. Thank you, Adara. And that's why you want to ask the questions. Keep putting them in there. We apologize if we do miss it, and thank Neil for grabbing that. No, that's what I wanted to do before we went over there. So I'm getting more out of the cues, but look what's happening to Nvidia. Like it's down to 120 again. This was just one. Remember, it was like, oh yeah, we're going to go short, but we weren't. There it is. Like Nvidia right now, basically no love at all as it just follows this 50 period and the rest of them apparently to the downside here. So Nvidia not enjoying what has been the closing marks here into a Friday, into the end of the week. So yeah, not great here. Nvidia losing steam, looking to break that 120 mark. And look, man, if it does, it's not great. Like we've talked about that already. This has been a level to look out for here at 120. We hit the short the other day right off the open, bang with that 120. I guess it was 10 o'clock, but we hit that, or was it in here? I don't know. No, it must have had to have been here. So there it was. It did go down. It was a nice trade into 118. So that could be bought up. Like this is, again, I think it's just a sell-off on the week. That we didn't have a good Microsoft report. Microsoft was down 6% yesterday and tried to battle back today and was up a couple points. Now it's getting back to flat. Apple really held the torch all day for the short side. It started off really great in the AM and then just absolutely fell. There was... Like what I mean by started off for the day is exactly what I mean. Like look, like this name right at the open just said, all right, we're tapping out, and didn't even it was just like, that's it. We'll see you guys on Monday, basically. Like this was just see ya. Like there was only, I'm actually, now that I look at this, I actually think I did a decent job here getting out and actually finding some kind of winners in this. But at the end of it, nothing to brag about here as Apple, not being short this name is actually not great. But we bow wrapped, we put a bow on this day with this short. So although we could be mad at ourselves for not being short Apple or the Qs higher up here, we didn't get the short opinion until basically when we came right back live at 2 p.m. Like this is when we took this trade, is when we broke that low. We talked about it. It was great. Not only did we have it early, but we also had the reload. So that's how confident we wanted to give this move in there right now, and it's made a big difference. So there it goes to the downside. It's the NASDAQ. I'm not going to take that Nvidia short, but I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that right now. So if I don't think there's anything wrong, then maybe I should just do it. Oh, man, where's the 50 period? 121. Do you guys want to... What is the NASDAQ down? All right. So where are we in this? I'm just going to zoom this out, and then we'll go over to Neil in a second. So let's just see if Nvidia breaks, it will bring the NASDAQ down with it, I'd assume. And yeah, it's not like there's not... The market could bounce at 21.5. We actually already talked about that level. So, all right, you know what? I'm going to try this short. On this name on Nvidia, and for maybe like a quarter position.
You seen where Deckers is?
Deckers? Yeah, well, Deckers that's hookah brand, and there's a couple different things there. Uggs brand is another one there. So yeah, I did see that actually. Deckers. Go to Neil. He has
Deckers was. You said Apple was the short today. I could at least there was reasons to be trying long an Apple because it started out strong. Deckers was down like double digits on earnings and reverting here we go. There's a look at what this was reverting the move. A slight move to the upside, big rejection candle through the 200 period moving average, through $200, underneath prior support, like basically like the litany of things it did. Then it tried to break out at the open, reversed it, and every single small pop was just dumped. It's down 20%. This could get interesting on Monday. Because I think when you see something like this I keep zooming it out, but it's not adjusted. When you come back in on Monday, there's like major areas at 170, which is now only $9 away. And then you got like 160 in here. So there's some spots that this thing could bounce for sure here on Deckers. Yeah, Uggs and Hookah, you said?
Yep.
Hookah. I'm not that familiar with it. So here's the problem with Rigetti. 1, chase the entry. 2, the prior trend line, which I like to leave in there, trend down, turns into an inflection point. Like this is to me like a failed breakout of the trend line. So the old trend line, just leave it in and see what happens. And then I got in on this one.
Here we go.
But that just held, that 130.20. If this one holds, then I should be only long at 13 with like a tight stop and not the bad price that we had on the original entry. And if we break the 13.20, then you've got some more juice to the upside for sure. And I just trailed out of ARM.
Say something.
So ARM just trailed out for me at 158.50. So we got it at 160.5, but it just trailed out. So that's like the first time it's put in like 4 candles in a row on 3 minutes to the green side. And I just heard something about RJ.
Yeah, I heard what it was.
So something about Rivian here, only up like 10 cents.
Nah, it was whatever it is, the R2 or whatever is on track. Whatever the model, the R1, R2T, whatever it was, the news is that the production is on track.
Okay.
So that's, again,
Still losing money.
We'll get it. I'll get you the exact model. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was not. I went right over to it. I was like, you might have heard me. I said, say something, RJ, but you didn't say anything. Okay. So the TQ. So just a little bit of a proxy. I got out right here, another piece, because Nvidia is close to breaking. So I thought Nvidia might break 120 and I'd get put into that short, but it didn't break 120. So I'm not into that short. So I was like, you know what? Just in case it nails 120 and then bounces back up, I could have a double whammy because I would lose on the short of Nvidia and then I would lose on the futures back up. So, okay, so now we're into Nvidia. We're short 119.99. Like I said, it's not a huge position. We're into Nvidia right now, and we're going to use the 50-period moving average, whatever it may be. I will average back up into this trade, into that wick, which is 120.60. So if we come back up to 120.50, I'm going to get a little bit more and just use the 50-period moving average. Now, remember, we're already 180 handles short into this market right now. But this is a much lighter position, so we'll put on a small one here on Nvidia to enjoy what I think is going to be a little bit of a ride down right now to the downside. There it is, man, 20 cents. We'll take a piece out. We'll wait in the 60s now for a downside push there in Nvidia. And oh my, did we do it again? I don't know, but it is a wicked chick. No, it's a chicken dinner winner right now to the downside as we start to go 119.74, 119.70. Neil, oops, Brittany. Looks like we did it again right there on a nice little downside push there for Nvidia. Look, there it is. We just got some out at 65. All right, relax. I want to make sure everyone scans that QR code below there because, we already brought down some of the charting and we showed you how reliable eSignal has been. And I mean, just using some of these levels and whatnot, you have to trust your data. You have to have back testing capabilities. This thing has absolutely everything. Connect to 50 plus brokers and, enjoy eSignal. Make sure you do scan that QR code below. Trade smarter, not harder. This is your chance for that 1 free month there on eSignal. So I think once you go over there, you won't come back. I mean, we got all of these notes today. Not all of them, but many notes today off of eSignal alerts. Neil and I have been showing you the hot list, the trade list indicator there. We have also, obviously, our own curated stock lists that we've made, which gives us these alerts. So, I mean, eSignal, I've been using it for 23 years, and it's been a game changer. My best outs for Nvidia, though, and we're going to go to it there in 1 second, were 60. Wow, we got some fills at 67 and 69 there. So I pushed pushed bid enter and wiped out a couple levels there on that move. So, man, we're doing it again right there. We're adding to our number one P&L of the day with Nvidia. Neil's long. We've got the double barrel shorts. We're all over this, and we got Adara at the desk.
And take a look here at RIVN. There isn't any news on this. What happened was about 3 minutes ago, RJ Scaringe, founder and CEO of Rivian, did post on X, R2 expansion moving quickly, exclamation point. So the market moving up on this. There was someone on X who said this thing will be on the road. If it's on track and on the road, it'll be a game changer, but that is just a random X user. There's no actual news supporting this. And here's the photo that RJ tweeted alongside his tweet. It's just a photo of their facility. So this is just RJ basically hyping up the R2 on Twitter. That seems to be what caused the move in Rivian, and it did get a little bit of social media attention on X as well, which you can see sometimes when a stock makes a move to the upside or downside, guys. Back to you.
So there was news. On,
Yeah, the Rivian is
it's
R2 expansion moving quickly.
But it's not that big of a deal. It's not a mover, and it's not anything that's going to get it out of the doldrums on a day like today. Like you need some real juice to get a spike in the market to the upside. But remember what I said about a Rigetti in the old trend line? It just very barely tried to hold, and then look at it. Like the second you held above trend, you wicked that trend line. So that's about as weak of a hold as you can imagine. So I've tightened up to stop. I think you don't give the longs all that much room. So it tried the reversion. I don't necessarily love it at this point. I was going to add. I'm not going to tighten it up. As a matter of fact, I look back over. I trailed out of ARM, and then the first thing ARM did is go right into the prior low and prior resistance and turn around. Like right away, just turn around. So it's still on this trend line. I'm going to give it to this local high here. It's underneath 159. That's like 158.80, something along those lines, like 30 pennies or so. We'll give it to that. And then look at Tesla. Tesla might actually break, was that 402? Tesla 402. I think it's 402 when I just looked up. Yeah, 402, double bottom here on Tesla. This is not looking very healthy either. So the continuation happens on Tesla. Oh, could we come all this way not to test 400? That's the question I'm asking myself. And I think the answer is we've got 8 minutes until the imbalances, so there's just one last shot to be able to get this 400 level here in Tesla. But I'm reloading Apple, basically exact Apple ARM where we got out. We got out at 158.5. I'm getting back in at 158.5. Tesla, if I can get 405, I might take one last shot before the imbalances hit. But I'm not doing it after.
Yeah, don't forget about the imbalance.
Not after.
They're going to be coming. No, I mean, especially into a Friday here, last Friday of the month, last day of the month.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, a lot of the options expirations have already happened the third Friday, but it doesn't matter. This is still going to be something right there. So we're out of half of Nvidia. Like, we've already sort of talked about that trade, so it's coming back in. We're now using the 50 period here. That's 120.70s. So I don't think we're really going to worry too much about getting many more shares or anything into this, because now, as Neil had mentioned, and if you guys are looking, someone said in the chat, you must be new here, so that would be great. Like, thank you for coming. We trade actual equity. So these are the shares. They're not CDRs or not CDRs, ADRs, or what do they call them?
No, you're
CDRs are Canadian depositories.
No, you're thinking of
CFDs. Oh, man, is it Friday yet?
It's
honestly?
Friday, man.
Yeah, so these are, I've actually never traded CFDs or anything. So here at Real Trading, this is like a live, if you come over here, this is a live level 2 screen of real, like this is what Nvidia is trading at. We have live direct connections down to the NASDAQ and to over 30 gateways across the whole world. We can execute in over 30 different gateways on the NASDAQ alone, let alone the 50 plus markets that we have worldwide. So we are just shorting. Every time you see a purple tick there, we have borrows already at the company that are associated into our fees already. So every time we go short, it's like I don't even want, it's like maybe a cent or something that we have to pay. It's just a clearing fee that already goes in. So that's already been. And then anything that's on a hard to borrow list, possibly like a Rigetti or anything like that, we'd have to pay an extra fee to do that, and we have to go locate those. So we have a platform to do that, like many of you do. We've seen Sharif do it on IBKR, and it spits back a price, and the same thing happens to us and probably to you guys as well. But wow, Nvidia right now, remember where our stops were and everything like that? It is now 70 cents in the money. This is over 200 handles now as the futures go. And why I'm showing this is people are like, what's going on here? These are the imbalance locators. So coming at the end of the day, we got a big Verizon buy. That's not DocuSign. That's a sell. Ford is a little bit of a sell. I don't know many of these names on here. They're just changing as we speak. But yeah, Energy Transfer, I guess. Nothing else on there of any significance. The NASDAQ is what we wait for. And they all go live and get populated at 350. So in 5 minutes right now. So we'll wait for that to happen, and hopefully it does, and hopefully it's a sell. Because right now, Nvidia is almost that dollar in the money. Remember I said, like, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to take it, but I don't really see the reason why not to take it. So we are glad that we did take that. We're glad we were able to talk that through with everybody here live. And I mean, this is just going to put the weekend on a whole nother level. And I don't want to be like, I don't get, my weekend doesn't change based on if I've had a great week or a bad week. That is for sure. But it's always better to have a better week. So we will be really happy. And you're not going to wipe the smile off my face for a very, very long time. So again, thank you for joining. And I just heard from Brendan that like our numbers are above average again. So thank you so much to everybody. You've now found the best trading show, period. And the thing about it is, Neil and I are so dedicated to this that it's like they have to force us to take the holidays. That's why in late December, it's like Brendan, same as Brendan.
Oh, I actually did better this year.
Yeah.
But that's because I took days off for my injury.
Oh, right. Yeah. That was, So, okay. So you didn't actually do better, but.
Technically I did.
Yeah, no. And then plus you're going to spring training again, right?
Yes.
So we're starting to take some days off, and we booked a lot.
My daughter has a karate.
Yes, see, it's all about the kids.
Oh, no, it's the Nvidia day.
About the kids.
It's Nvidia earnings, but I have to because it's karate, and my wife is out of town. So
I mean, we're at the age
parents
now.
got to show up for those things.
Yeah, we're at the age now where it's like, what are you doing this weekend? And I just think about what my kids are doing.
It can't be a bad weekend this weekend. Why?
Why?
Because
There's
the Bills can't disappoint me.
They can't lose.
So therefore, it's great. I'm seeing the Globetrotters tomorrow.
Oh, they can disappoint you.
And,
you are? Where?
Yeah,
where are they?
What's the Mississauga
Yeah, I
one?
thought so. Yeah. Not
Yeah.
Iceland's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one. I don't know
where the
name of it.
Raptors 905 play. It used to be Hershey Center.
If you don't know who the Globetrotters are, think of like the Savannah Bananas of basketball, and they're the originals.
No, I think it would be the other way around.
Well, some people
You might not know who Savannah Bananas are.
True. Well, Savannah Bananas are bigger now on social media.
I can't even get tickets to that. Anybody has Savannah Banana tickets?
It's impossible. It's like a lottery system. This is why we're doing the Globetrotters, because she wanted us to go see Savannah Bananas, and we couldn't get tickets. So I'm like, okay, well, I saw the Globetrotters when I was a kid, and she's into basketball. My daughter's into basketball now. She just started 2 weeks ago. I'm like, you're gonna enjoy this. These guys.
It's bad about those Washington.
And they have
Generals.
They've got 5 or 6 women on the team now.
Oh, good. Nice.
So it should be fantastic. And we got some weird pass thing. My neighbor was going with us and his daughter. And we got some pass where you go early, and then we get like to hang out with the players. But I don't know any of the players on the Globe.
They're probably hanging out in section 112 where the players dwell, so you can just go there.
We
and
won't
have a
be.
quick little
All right,
check.
so just one
Well,
thing
not you.
here.
That's where the players are.
I just covered at resistance on Rigetti. It did make the move into 13.4, so a bit of a bounce here on Rigetti. Obviously, it's not that big of a move compared. Like, this was $14.50 at 1 o'clock. So it dropped 10%. I know it's up 8%, but it dropped 10%
Covering Nvidia.
down. So I just got out. I think we had a bad entry price. I'll acknowledge that. So I trimmed it at flat. And we should have been long here off the 13 level, but I took this 13, 12 break. And then we reloaded ARM. We'll give it a chance, but it's trying to break the 159, and there's only 2 minutes to go. This is binary. If we break 159 before or after the rebalance, or not rebalances, the imbalances hit it in 2 minutes, it's simple.
Boom.
The stop is in regardless, but I do have a bid in front of 158. So 2 minutes to go. There are no massive index actions. I just looked it up because I forgot it was the end of the month. That said, end of the month, you could just see random things show up. Like Nvidia could be a little bigger than normal, or Apple could be bigger than normal. But yeah, we reloaded ARM. We're risking about 50 cents on this one. might not be able to get the same type of move, especially given profit taking today, or at least this afternoon, would mean getting some bids. That was about 90 seconds to go.
I just, still a couple seconds to go. I just want to talk about some of my positions right there. So right now we have a little bit, we have like 12% or so left of Nvidia. Like we just started emptying it out. We actually identified, this is all in the last 2 minutes, right? So there's a 119.70. As it gets closer and closer to those imbalances, as Neil mentioned, like we don't know which way they're gonna go. So we're pretty much out of that Nvidia. Obviously it didn't make as much as we had hoped, but these fills right down there are 20s. Like that's at 39, that's at 25. So, you know, the fact that we get out there for flat and then now we hold that, like I said, trying to think about how many shares, because it's hard because I have so many shares traded today on Nvidia. But at the end of the day, it's going to be less than 10% that we have left on that position. So there was Nvidia earlier on, was just many, many trades as we go there for NVDA today. All right, so that was good. All right, and then, on the TQs as well, more covers. We break the 50-period moving average. We get out at 82.85, holding one last piece here for the dream. We don't know where it's going to go. We're going to update this in just now 30 seconds. These imbalances will pop out. Let me see what Apple's doing. There could be a big Apple imbalance here today. 234. So if you see, it's a nice move up there. I don't know if there's an early leak on any of these imbalances, so it's hard for me to say like if this is leading up to a sell or buy imbalance. But if it's a sell imbalance, this thing's going to hit hard because it just rallied up about $1. So we'll watch out to see what happens with Apple now. If it comes a big sell, we'll be on it right now with only 4 seconds. 2 and 1 now. Oh, there is Apple. It is a bid. So, oops.
They got to be buys.
There goes Apple. Nice little move there up to the upside. Look at that. Can you take a look at that? Nice move. Almost 80 cents straight upside. And we just got triggered out of the Qs, obviously signaled by Apple. Nice little buy side on Intel, but doesn't do much over there. VTRS, I don't know why I went to that. AVGO, another name that people might be looking at. Nice little gap up into 221 there for Broadcom on a buy. BMY's a buy. Bristol Myers has been trading pretty good lately. That's up quite a bit, actually. I forget, is it Alzheimer's or something for Bristol Myers? But it's great. They got approval, and it's been absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to throw it back over to Neil. I just lost the size on that. There it is. So not much else other than Apple. Guys, this is probably going to flip, because this is not that huge, considering it's done over 70 million shares. I think this could flip to the sell side. Look at that move. This is why you get out, man. We talked about the saving grace on everything, like out. So you're not part of this. That's the TQQ trade. Again, we're out of it. That was a monster one. Thank you for following on Twitter. But Apple's right there. This could be a great short, right into the 200-period moving average. Maybe we'll take this. It's still a little early. The actual pairing event doesn't happen until 3:55. But as these are live quotes, so this will pair off. I don't know how often it updates. I should probably find this out. If it's every 30 seconds or so, you'll get an update on that number. So just watch out. Be careful with Apple. I'm so glad that I flipped over to Apple at like 3:49 and talked about this, because this is a risk that all of us trade here in the last 10 minutes. So just be aware. And now you are.
It's like every 10 seconds.
Yeah, every 10 seconds. Okay. What's up, Adara?
Be aware here, you have Donald Trump saying there's nothing that China, Canada, or Mexico can do to stop the tariffs, and just actually said that currently they actually might increase tariffs at some point. So apparently, the tariff will continue, and it could actually even get worse here, and there's nothing that the countries can do to stop them. Back to you.
It's a weird negotiation tactic. Let's see how it works out. No, there is one other imbalance that's of significance. Broadcom is a 2.4 million to the buy side. So much like Apple, well, there goes. Apple must have flipped. Where did Apple go? No, I don't see.
I don't know where it is either. But
so Broadcom's still there for 2.5. But Broadcom would be one to watch. Oh, it's already pulling back. See, that's the tricky thing. Like, you can want to short it into VWAP on a flip, but before it even pairs off, it's already heading to the downside there on Broadcom. So that is what it is at this point. Just said it one more time. In ARM, we had to stop at the 159. The second the imbalance is hit, there might have been a small buy imbalance. I didn't see it, but that's enough for me. We'll jump away from it. ARM's still up 4% today, so I love the fact that it's at least holding decently today, but nothing was immune to what we saw here today. It doesn't matter how strong you were this morning. I know we said there's not going to be a free fall Friday, but a lot can change when news hits. Everything was like I was
It's
before
still
this
not
hit,
really a free fall.
before this hit, I had a stop order breaking long 420 on Tesla for a while. Like I was ready for it, locked and loaded to go. It just didn't break. I get up,
Apple's
cancel the
already
order,
tanking.
and all of a sudden it's gone. That's the thing. Broadcom's already tanking before it even flipped. So that reversion trade at 355, like you basically had to take it at 351.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like, I wouldn't do it. Like Broadcom's still 3.5 million to the buy side. It's actually grown larger, and they're selling it off.
Nvidia's coming
which
back.
doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's what's happening.
Yeah, Nvidia's coming back. We missed that Apple trade, but at least we talked about it right there. He's putting tariffs on oil and gas by February 18th. I just heard from Trump.
Well, that is not a happy Valentine's Day gift at all.
Yeah, 18th. Oh,
well,
yeah.
Because it's on a Friday, so that would be the
sense.
Tuesday or something.
Oh.
Or the Monday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Oh my God, he's talking now about steel, aluminum, copper. He's talking all kinds of stuff right now. Adara is going to be.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right. There's lots happening. All right, so I was going to reverse this trade on Apple, like try to get a short, so I think we'll do that. I feel like Apple's already kind of pairing off. It's already 1.4 million. I think it's going to go the other way. What's up, A?
So Donald Trump was just announcing things that he will at one point put tariffs on. I put up ASML here because we got a little bit of a volume drop. As you can see here, they said eventually we will put tariffs on chips. He also said they will put tariffs on oil and gas, and then also steel, aluminum, and copper. So just to recap, things that Donald Trump and the U.S. will eventually put tariffs on include steel, aluminum, copper, oil, gas, chips. So things to keep an eye on there because it seems like tariffs will be increasing at some undetermined point. Guys, back to you.
I just feel bad for Americans now because if you're going to put tariffs on chips, then how are you guys ever going to have those ketchup chips? Like they don't have ketchup chips in the United States.
Best chip out there.
Now you're going to
Get some help.
You know, now they're going to put tariffs on them, making it even more unlikely that, you know, Frito-Lay or whatever will ship those southbound.
And if you've never had ketchup chips,
and
everyone out there,
Donald better rethink this.
so good.
All right, I'll be back Monday, guys. I mean, you know.
I double-checked some of the steel names. Nucor, I just went right over to see if Nucor was moving, and it's not. So nothing really happened. Maybe I should have checked. There was a volume spike on U.S. Steel, but it's already coming back in. So yeah, not a lot happening on those names. I would have taken a shot. It's now 356, so obviously the flip has already happened. Broadcom did flip, but it already made the move before the imbalance paired off.
Apple
so
did not flip.
there was no trade. You had to take it at 351 instead of 354. Let's go back to Adara.
Yeah, keep an eye here on these medical and pharmaceutical names. This is mRNA. This is Eli Lilly. They're all kind of doing the same thing, putting this pretty sharp drop with a bit of a volume increase. Trump just said, and I quote, "I want to bring pharmaceuticals back to America with tariffs." It's a little bit unclear as to what this refers to, but all of these pharmacy names are actually dropping on this. So again, more tariffs apparently related to bringing pharmaceuticals back to the U.S., guys. Back to you.
I
will have to
know what that means.
No, I got to plead a lot of ignorance in terms of where some of those drugs get actually made.
Europe, huge
But
Germany.
percentage-wise, like I don't know what the percentage is. It's got to be big.
Yeah,
it must be bigger than I realized.
Yeah, because I remember during vaccine times there, they were having some hiccups there, getting them across.
Well, there was some talk of.
But anyways.
Because wasn't the talk that you were going to have a lot of the old like film companies or anybody that was in the chemical business was going to be able to make easy transitions to making some drugs, and you didn't really get a lot of that follow through.
We got to clean up all the fentanyl crossing our borders into the United States. Like what? I haven't even heard. Like I watch the news quite regularly. I don't even remember the last time I heard of even a fentanyl story.
I have not heard a single.
Like we live in Toronto, which is the 5th most populated city in North America, and I mean, I don't.
You're preaching to the choir.
I don't see zombies or anybody walking around here. But again, we'll clean that up for you, Donald, and get this all figured out.
Well,
of course,
I've seen some zombies on the subway.
Yes,
yes.
Well, Sharif almost got murdered.
Subway's dangerous. You might get
and all of that. So, anyways, we'll just wait. It's 3:58.
All right, I'm gonna
get over there. All right, great day trading. Yeah, we had some bangers there in the afternoon. I mean, the Tesla short arm, everything. Trying to get some mom spaghetti in there. All right, let's just keep on going. Let's do something. Do you have the roll call thing? We could do a roll call right now. I'll just do it live, anyways. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. All right, so who is still here, man? I mean, we love that everybody's here. First of all, Right now, let me see how many people are watching. I don't know how many likes, over 6,100 of you guys watching right now. So I want to say a big shout out to everybody. I mean, before we become the 51st state, I want to give a big shout out to Darwin, who's here again today. Darwin every day, man. Robbie is here. Robbie V is here. Start putting stuff in the chat and I'll say hi. Hey, wave to you guys as well. What's up, Stock Up? Here, you know what? Let's do some little waving. I think I got it. Whoa, what's up, Neil? I got to search for wave here. Here, let's do this. Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, that didn't work. There, wave. Okay, it's not working. All right, say hi to everybody. Waving. Hey, there they are. What's up? T-Money is here. John Manzoni is here. Callio's here. Tam Lee. Apparently, crude oil. Let's have a quick look at that. Whoa, nice little pop up there for USO into the close. Your boy's still short Nvidia. You're going to have to punch me out, back office. We're holding this thing. What's up to everybody there? What's up to Subscriber? What's up to Cesar? What's up to Marcelo? This is crazy. What a great idea. What's up to Ian Respeto? Raheel is here as well. We have less than 50 seconds left in the market. Jason's in the building now. USO up on the day, not bad. Let's find out where Apple is at the end of the day. I kind of don't want to get sidetracked there. 236. Where does Nvidia wind up on the day? As everybody wants to know that. Shout out to Elon, Sebastian. I just saw. We like you, Sebastian's here all the time. Meta's here as well. And you know what? I'll wrap up roll call and save it for the boys. Thank you so much for all of everything. Yep. When everything, well, I got to hit the countdown at some point here. Thank you so much to everybody. There's Nvidia right now, holding forward at that 120 level. It's a countdown. Thanks to Dara for all the work today. Good interview there on crypto, and she's been putting up with Michael Noss all day. So with only 4, 3, 2, 1. There she goes, and that wraps up again. We hear Dewey. That wraps up what was a extremely exciting week. I thought that ketchup chip comment was kind of funny there about the tariffs. So thank you to everybody for watching. What a fantastic run we've had. And I already said this, no matter if you made money or lost money all week or today or at any point, this is what's to come. The market is going to be volatile for a very, very long while. Not only do we have that, we are getting into what is an insane earnings season. I cannot wait for Palantir next week. We've got so many names to cover. Google's next week as well. We've got Amazon on board. And then so many of the other ones, DocuSign, and just it goes on and on and on. Roblox. We're going to be here for it, covering it for you every single day. Shout out Joe over here, Options Joe. Sharif, no problem. Sharif is here. Ramin is there. Fabian, thank you so much. Adara, we already said what's up to her. Brendan, for everything that he's been doing. Thank you to Rahim Alani for a special guest appearance there. Glad to see he wasn't in the pool. You know, today he was right here live and everything was okay with that guy. Thank you to Michael Noss for making the trip after coming, I think, from New York, right? Straight there into today. So thank you to Michael for that. And for everybody that joined us this week, you know, join us on Monday. And I promise you, if you thought today's show was good, wait till you see what we have planned for you on Monday. And on that note, we'll chat then.
Yes, we will. I'm joined today, a special version of the Market Recap Show. Well, it's not that we haven't had you on before, Michael.
Absolutely, yeah.
But this is, well, for myself, it's the first time I get to sit at the desk with our good friend, the Noss boss himself. So I've moseyed on into the chat. I didn't even realize we got the red-blue thing going on here.
There you go.
But the red won out today. No question about it.
Absolutely, and pretty much, right, I've got my board up here. Yeah, pretty much across the board, there was very few places to hide. A little bit of UNG, right? The rest of these are defensive, like gold and XTL and USO. So some of these names doing well on the tariffs off. But yeah, most things down heavily. And just overall, the main thing I was looking at, it's we tried to take another knock. That's the third knock at these all-time highs, and we've rejected from it. So that's kind of worrisome.
Yeah, look, I see exactly what you're saying. And looking at that SPY right now, and I'm kind of tracking the same thing. It's also, the candle looks bad.
Yeah.
That's the first part about it. Like, it's not just that you're at, like, you call it a double or a triple top.
Yep.
Locally, it's a double top. But it's sort of the rejection of the high break. And then the other thing that's scary about it is how many stocks did the same thing today. Like, you had Alphabet break an all-time high today and revert the move.
Yep.
You know, you had Apple up on earnings, gap up, revert the move.
Yep.
I mean, Nvidia wasn't at the highs, but obviously Nvidia, when it loses the bid, it gets relatively nasty. So you had a lot of individual names that did a little bit of a reversal on us and can put you into like a temporary bearish market. Now there was a question in the chat I didn't get a chance to answer, and someone asked, do you think that this sell-off would continue into Monday?
Yeah.
My general first thought is when we have a day like this on actual news, everything follows through. My default setting is Monday would have to change my mind when I sit down.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know, but you have to change my mind over the weekend. You have to change my mind going into Monday that I should be buying at these levels. Maybe wait for a little bit more of a dip or a better support level, or maybe some more news to come out.
And absolutely, I couldn't agree more. So I look at the RSP, which I talk about all the time. It's the equal weighted, and it gives you a better idea of what the every stock is doing. So you're not getting pulled down by the leaders or brought up by the leaders. And the RSP, if you just focus on today's candle, almost a bearish engulfing, which just means try to rally into the high and just tank. So it means the average large cap stock got really, really hit. And like you mentioned, on news, it wasn't just, floated down and had a bad day. This is a pretty nasty candle. So I'm in that same kind of mode. I need to see either a massive gap on Monday because some good news happened, or really, really dig in throughout the day. I'm not saying, top of the market or anything like that. Feels like this is going to be a bit of a multi-day sell-off.
Yeah, and the other thing about it, as you said, like it matters that it wasn't just tech that came down.
Yeah.
Like now all of a sudden we're worried about energy pulling back, right? Like XLE under 88, breaking local support. You go down the line, and when you find a lack of strength in multiple places, this is what can happen. And we even saw it with the strong nuclear names. Like you had the low float runners that were trying to go that all reverted. I mean, look how strong. Here's a first example. I'll just use it because OKLO was one. This looks really okay. The charts, actually, this chart's pretty gorgeous.
Yeah.
But even the strongest and probably the most bullish name that was a flyer since we had that DeepSeek, to me, was Oklo, because it basically pulled back into a prior high when everyone panicked and then was right at that high. Well, guess what it did? It just rejected that high.
Yeah.
And the last time it rejected this level, it didn't pull back 10%, it pulled back 30%. And you start to think about if people have that mentality coming into Monday, well, if you bought on the DeepSeek for this name, you bought it at $31, $32. You just got, in a couple of days, 20 to 25%. Who wouldn't be thinking about locking in that profit?
As someone who bought NNE on that very day, that's what I did today. I locked in some profits. But I have up here TLT, and this is, again, just a bond ETF. And you would expect in a turbulent market during the day, this to at least catch some sort of a bid, but it just couldn't today. So even we have bonds down, we have gold pretty much flat, almost reversed on the day as well. So even a lot of these safe haven assets got hit. So that's something that I think we really have to go through, and that's what I'll be doing a lot this weekend when I'm running all the stats that I do, and trying to find any flight to safety, any kind of strength out there. When I ran that little heat map that I did on the S&P 500 before, most of the names that were up were names that had just some sort of news that they gapped up, but then still gave back throughout the day. So I'm excited to try to find some relative strength out there, but I don't think it will be an easy task by any means.
Well, you got a couple of days to do it over the weekend, Michael. Yeah. I'll tell you, from like a first glimpse of just the things that I was watching today, I was struggling to come up with anything that looked fantastic. And it all depends on your timeline. Like, if you're looking at let's say a daily chart, just as I saw in the chat there, someone said OKLO doesn't look like a gorgeous chart. Well, it looks a lot different if you look at it in a daily chart, a 15-minute chart, a 3-minute chart, if you're looking at it intraday.
Yeah.
Nothing today on a 3 or a 5 or a 15 would look that good after this afternoon. And some daily charts, maybe weeklies, would look a little bit better, and you have to make that distinction. So, of course, I was talking about it on that daily until we had that top wick. But even now, like Bitcoin, I know you said looking for flights to safety here.
Yeah.
Bitcoin has been doing something a little distinctly different, at least recently. Instead of losing 100K, we've been losing 100K and holding 90.
Yeah.
We've been holding 100 now. And at least for now, it looks like we're still doing that. It's one of the things that maybe it could withstand this. I love the higher lows that you're seeing in Bitcoin, but it also failed to break the top.
Yeah, and I have the chart up here just to demonstrate what you're talking about. But you're right. Instead of doing this large up and down action, we've actually been consolidating really tightly at the highs. But what worries me is that, again, just like everything else, it sold off with the market. And there's an old trading saying that, during market crashes, all the correlations go to 1, which just means that everything moves with it. And again, you would expect to see more pockets. And if this Bitcoin held, that would be interesting going into the weekend, but it just couldn't. So this let go along with a lot of other names out there. So I think over the weekend, for you junkies who are going to be watching charts all weekend, it's like 98.5 on Bitcoin. If we can hold that, we can move. And to go to the question of the person who was talking about, is there follow through on Monday? I think the easiest way to judge sentiment as it goes through the weekend is just check on a Bitcoin chart every now and then.
Yeah.
If this holds or breaks out, then I think we could have a good day on Monday. But the way it's looking, if this breaks that 98.5 or so, which would just be this line right here, then yeah, I think things could get pretty ugly.
That's actually one of the unsung benefits of Bitcoin getting a little bit more popular. Is it used to be like, as traders, well, how are we going to get our Q? Like, you'd wait for the futures to open up on Sunday night. You'd maybe take a look at the Asian markets and how they opened up. Now all of a sudden, I'm not going to lie, the first thing, like Sunday night and early in the morning, I am actually opening up to see what Bitcoin has done.
Yep.
I actually don't check to see what the Japanese market has done. I go to crypto these days. It's actually not something I've even said before, but that's a very important thing to do. I think it can give you a lead, especially for you traders that are in there in the pre-market, which I know there are, trying to get a jump in there very, very early on Monday morning. If you're seeing higher lows on Bitcoin on Monday or even Sunday night, that could give you a little bit of a jaunt.
Yeah.
You said, and I love the saying, and I agree with you, that correlations all go to 1 when you have a real market dump.
Yep.
How would that reflect in the crypto space? Because the way I would see it, if we lose the bid here, I think there's some meme coins that are going to go down more than 1 to 1.
Oh, yes.
And I think the same thing, that's what people are thinking about with some of the, like why you take profits on an NNE, why you would take profits on an OCLO, because I think when you're in that segment of the market, it's a bit of a different story.
Yeah, and a lot of these meme coins are just a high beta Bitcoin. Like if you look at the Bitcoin Ethereum correlation, so here's Ethereum kind of doing the exact same thing that Bitcoin did, selling off when that news came out. They're just high beta, which just means they move more than Bitcoin. There's nothing more high beta to Bitcoin than some of these meme coins that Bitcoin will tick down 1% and these things lose 20. So it's everything gets correlated. Now the way I look at the crypto market is kind of like the way we look at the stock market. We look at the S&P 500, and if the S&P 500 is doing well, then we expect some stocks to, we can trade from the bullish sides. And same thing, if Bitcoin loses this zone, I'm not going to be a hero in stepping in front of any crypto. I think they're all going to move with it. And the speed of that drawdown, I think, is going to be super, super important. If we really start to lose that heavy and start to sell off heavy, then it's, stand out of the way, wait for things to settle down in the crypto space, because, a lot of these meme coins are really, really going to just amplify whatever you're seeing in the crypto space.
So true. And just going to shout out in the chat here, we have a lot of fun comments in there. And I just saw Jay Biz in the chat. Don't worry. Please keep Nos Boss. He's a gem. Well, we don't have any way to strap him into the chair.
I have to go home at some point.
You can tie him up. Yeah. No, of course, look, we're going to continue always to bring Mike along. We're just blessed today to have you in studio, of course. And, you were mentioning you were in New York.
Yes.
Had a pretty good talk. I'm curious as to, obviously you would have been talking to everybody before we had this afternoon.
Yeah.
But what the overall sentiment, you said you had a chance to talk to Dan Ives, you were sort of rubbing elbows with all the big wigs in finance over there. What was the general sentiment? Obviously things might have changed in the last 12 hours.
Well, if Dan Ives, if you ever followed him, he was obviously bullish on tech and bullish on Tesla. But there was a lot, because the beauty of it is a group of technicians, right? So we do a pretty good job of putting our biases behind. And there was a lot of studies, and I brought some of these to you already, showing that year 3 of a bull market is generally choppy. And it kind of makes sense. You just can't have 20% gains year over year over year and have that be a healthy market. So there was a lot of talk about what do we do, how do we change our trading style, how do we change our philosophy if we are going into a sideways market. What trading systems, what styles could do well there. And as a systems trader myself, and that's what I look to do, I'm going to be spending a lot more time looking at mean reverting systems, so buying dips, selling rips, and pullback systems as opposed to breakout. So yeah, even before today, there was a lot of talk of certain things we need to see to get bullish again, but if we don't see those, and the main one was the dollar, which didn't participate at all today, let's brace for not necessarily a down market or an up market, but a choppy market. So active traders, like the ones that watch these shows, will do great, because there'll always be something moving and something going on. It'd be frustrated to be like a long-only investor at that time.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And the good thing about it, too, for individual traders, and why you hear Sean say it all the time, like why it's such a good market right now, is you can have, and this is the best thing during earnings season as well, like it's a stock picker's market. You're in the right stock, you have fantastic longs. You have great shorts today. Like you could short every single pop on Deckers today, you would have won. Until the news hit, you could have been long all the nuclear names, you could have been long all the quantum names and just trending to the upside. But to your point, if you look at a monthly on the Qs here, right?
Monthly charts.
This is sort of what you're getting at. Well, I could probably have zoomed it in. Whoops, I could have zoomed it in, but I think it makes the point better if I don't. When you just said like mean reversion strategies.
Yes.
When you throw up this monthly, it is difficult to do this forever.
Yeah.
And a reasonable mean reversion could take you down 20% into this prior 406 level.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't even be crazy when you look at a monthly chart on the QQQ. And so when people are starting to talk about it could be a little bit choppy, well, a lot of things have to happen to get us down there. But if you're ready for it and you have sort of those alternate strategies, like it used to be buying the shallow dip was the way to go.
Yep.
And we might not be in that market where you're just looking for maybe more continuation on the dip and then get a very clean reversion that might take more patience, maybe a few less swing trades in a year like this year, or is it more picky?
Yeah, well, I think it might actually be more swing trades. So,
okay.
So what I've been building over at my website for a while is the idea of adding strategies together. And it's the same thing in day trading. Sometimes you can just punch new lows and make money, and sometimes you can't. You have to play the mean reversion. So, but by doing these and running these back tests going back 30 some odd years, and I've been showing you some of the picks from these systems, is it shows that just in different markets, different things work. And I think in this market, and studying markets in the past, these mean reversion setups will work a little bit better. And it's just looking for something that's a little bit overextended to the downside and you're buying it, or pullbacks. But what ends up happening is you have to trade faster, right? If you are trend following, you buy and you got to give it time to go, and it slowly trends in your direction, hopefully, if you're right. But mean reversion, you have to get in, your profits are usually faster, your stops are usually faster. So whereas a lot of people, especially in 2024, you could have just bought a bunch of stocks and walked away and had a great year. I think this is really, really going to focus, if I'm right, and we are going to get these choppier markets, which I think the volatility we saw today and what we know what's going on in the administration, we could see a long volatile market. I think it's just really going to reward that active guy, the guy who can stick and move and light on his feet, and then the person who just wants to buy a bunch of big cap stocks and carry them forever. I think that's the guy who's going to suffer a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? Even for, like, if you're the DCA, in your long term, it's not to say that that's a bad thing. If you're, like, when you're young and your time horizon is forever, that does that.
Yeah,
that
you want pullbੱllbacks, you want crashes. You don't want to be buying new highs. You want things to, absolutely.
So for that, I think you should always be okay with it. But what was my? I had a great one. I had a great question before I just went into the DCA. No, here's what it was. So we saw what happened. It was like 118, I want to say, First, delay. Reuters coming out saying that we're delaying the tariffs until the next month.
Yeah.
And then at about 1:18, we saw the seed change in the overall market when President Trump essentially said that is not true. I'm just gonna, maybe if I can throw up a chart here, I'll throw like a 5-minute on the cues, and maybe we can see like what happened at that moment. Now, for a day trader, it's very clear what we do when we see news like this. It's not like I don't have to. Look, that happens, trend down, all right, everything was along, now we're just shorting things.
Yep.
It's very simple what you're doing for the rest of the day because it's an easy trend follow.
Yeah.
So how does this environment, where on any given day, you don't usually have a situation where the market can move on something by the president or that easily and that rapidly. We're now in that environment again. So how does that affect your stop loss trading? How you handle your swing trades? Do you change anything with your process because you can see something like this?
Well, and this is one thing that I think it's really important that when you're trading, especially when you're swing trading, a lot of, I guess, all of the stops of my systems actually use ATR, or the average true range of the stock. So what will happen is, as things get more volatile, those ranges get bigger, so the amount you trade naturally gets smaller. If you're not a systems trader like me, you're more of a discretionary trader, I just think you have to do that naturally. You have to understand that we are going to be in slightly crazier of a market, so it makes sense to pare down size a little bit. And then also to deal with the whipsaws, everything that I do, because I have to get the data after the close, is based off closing prices. But that's something that Charles Dow taught us 150 years ago, is the closing price is the most important price in the market. So if you can, and you're trading small enough and you have the patience, wait for that close, because if you were buying something on a breakout today and you just bought it because it looked good in the morning, you had a bad time. If you waited till the close, you saved yourself, that kind of whipsaw.
The other point, we were saying this too, and I forget that maybe you remember this. I forget the name of the study or the paper that said over time, buying closes, if you're going long, buying closes is just statistically better. You'll have better returns doing it. So I get lazy sometimes too. August 6th was a different story. You should have bought the open that day, but on the panic days, it is a bit different. But in the general sense, buying the close is going to be better. We got a super chat here.
Sure.
And it's from Rohit. And I think this is, so it says specifically, how do you time DCA in day trading and swing trading? Now, I'll let you answer the second part.
Yeah.
Now, for the first part, everybody has to have their own style. Dollar cost averaging just simply means you have the intention of entering into your full position, not in one shot.
Yes.
And that is your plan of action. It could mean something like, let me pull up Tesla today, we'll find something familiar. Like it could mean something like, okay, this chart's ridiculous. I like Tesla at, I'm just going to show this bottom here, like 402.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly where it's going to bounce. I think it obviously didn't bounce. I think it has room to get to a 410 bounce. Maybe I want to start going long at 405. If it breaks 401, I want to get out. I'd like an average price of 03, let's just say, and risk $2 to try to get it back to 10. Hopefully I didn't say all that too fast. I probably did. I'm sorry. So what you would do in that situation is figure out what your max loss would be. You're going to risk $2. You want an average price of 3 to 1s, let's just say, and you want to start at 5. So if you want 1,000 shares, you might say to yourself, okay, I want to buy 250 at this price, 250 at that price. And if it gets all the way down into the low, I should have 1,000 shares at a price approximating 403. That would be a planned DCA into a day trade. It's not something that I do very often.
Yeah.
But it depends on your style. Sean likes that style. If you look at his style of trading, ask him that question on Monday. But that's the premise. And remember, it's a plan. Right. It's not I'm buying it because it happens to be going against me. And the other thing too is if the level you like is down at the 02 where you think that's the best price and your stop's at 1, well, you want to make sure you have a good price if it gets down there. And it could mean just waiting until it gets to the bottom and being willing to miss the trade to get that good price. Now, for swing trading, I have never DCA'd into a swing trade in my entire life.
The funny thing is it's the exact same, right? And
Okay.
I like how you reiterate it, and I think it's super important to say it's averaging down and averaging into a position are two different. So averaging down, we're basically talking about the guy who buys a stock at 10 and it drops to 8 and he goes, oh, I'm wrong, I'm going to buy more. That's not we don't want to do that. That's a no-no. We're really against that. But like I have up here with NNE for a swing trading example, because this is one that my system alerted to at this price, there would be nothing wrong with saying, okay, this is the price that we want it. We know from my systems on Sunday night, I know all the prices for the next week. And I've gotten this question, if we like it at 32, do you just buy a little bit coming into it? And it's the same thing that you talked about, right? Yep. Maybe you buy a little bit at 35, maybe you buy a little bit at 33, and then you buy a little bit at 32. But you need to make sure, and it's a little bit complex to do the math, that if you get filled on that full position and then you get stopped, it's an acceptable risk. So you need to make sure that's all planned. Now, I know Sean does it and he does very well with it. I'm the same as you, where I wait for the alert. The alert will come up and say, hey, your algorithm said to buy this thing at this price. Then I'll buy it. Until then, I kind of ignore it. But if you want to do it, that's how you do it. And just use an Excel spreadsheet. You plug in all of the position sizes and the prices and then your stop loss and make sure that risk works, because otherwise you end up doing the other thing, which is not the good thing, and just buying on the way down, hoping that you're right eventually.
Yeah, and of course, when we're talking about this in the long-term account, like it's when you're buying something for more investment purposes, or just you like a level on a stock fundamentally, you want to do it going into the next earnings. Like I'll use an example because I just bought some Lockheed Martin, and it is a starter position. Like I said I wanted to look at this for a reversal. I don't think that they can cut as aggressively in defense spending as they say, so I'm a little bit skeptical there.
Yep.
And I sort of liked the way it held the bottom at this prior support level, but I liked it. I like it down at 400 to 420 better. So I just bought 20% in here with the intention that, well, if it never gets down to 400 or 420, well, then maybe I don't get a full position, or I find a better way to enter the rest of it.
Yep.
But that's my area, so I can't buy the full thing if I don't want to hold that 460 down into 400. That's a lot easier when you're looking at a higher time frame,
right,
because it's easier. The chances of it's not going to usually do that big of a move in one day. Yeah. You can be calm and make decisions. And also your time frame for holding it is going to be longer, if not forever sometimes. But I want to bring back to the one thing we didn't talk about yet. Because we only have like 5 minutes, like almost 4:30 here.
Wow.
And I'm surprised you didn't say anything about this. And maybe I'm wrong when I look at the quote when we got a peek at the quote board. But is it just me, or wasn't Nat Gas actually up today? And so like Sharif didn't say anything and he's long Nat Gas. You didn't say anything and you're long Nat Gas. The day where everything is down, I'm surprised we didn't have a comment. Nat Gas was up today, right?
Yeah, and maybe it was just because we both don't want to jinx it. But yes, and not only was it up today, but it was up from not the open, but it did this hammer candle, this reversal candle. So I really do like the look of this now. It's Nat Gas, so they call it the Widowmaker for a reason. Be careful. But yeah, I do have a speculative play against this $15 level on Nat Gas. I've been playing, it spikes up, I sell some, it comes down to 15, I buy some. And the idea is here that the 200-day moving average is right below us. I'm just trying to stay long as long as we're above the 200-day moving average. But it could be one of those, again, I'm not going to understand the macro or all that stuff, but it could be that if they're going to tariff imports, or if they're going to tariff stuff coming in, then maybe that is more beneficial to something like UNG in particular, which isn't all of natural gas. It's only United States produced natural gas. So the idea might be that we go from there. I think a lot of this has to do with the clean versus dirty energy as well, where if we're not going to use as much renewables, which we can see that solar has just gotten killed since the election, that maybe natural gas and actual oil is going to be a better way to heat homes and to power AIs and all that stuff.
That makes a lot of sense, and I can't argue with any of that. I've never been brave enough to play natural gas. I'll be the first person to admit it. You got to know your lane and stay in it.
Yep.
And wish you the best. I know it's already gone well, so it's at that point where hey, a win's a win, and it probably not going to be able to turn into a loss for you. I have to point this out because we had a couple of minutes to go. There's a few things that have come through here. One, from Trump, if you hadn't been paying attention, tariffs are back on tomorrow. But he also said we will be doing very substantial tariffs on the European Union. Tariffs may cause short-term disruption, not concerned about market reaction. And the other one is we are going to take back the Panama Canal. And also Trump, we're going to bring tariffs to 10% on Canadian oil. So you've got tariffs on Canadian oil, they're going after the Panama Canal, now tariffs going to be on the EU, and all the announced tariffs that you thought were going to be off a month are all coming in tomorrow.
Yeah.
What all that lines up for us as traders is volatility.
Right.
And when we've got volatility, we've got opportunity. And I know we've already said it a couple of times. In a volatile market, you want to be in the right place and trading the right things on that given day. And it's hard to do that without digging into the charts, doing your prep work.
Yeah.
I know everyone hates work, but if you like the markets, then you should like looking at charts, but you got to do a little bit more of that to ensure you get the right stocks on any given day.
Yeah, and again, a couple ways to do it, right? You could do what I do, which is A, I build systems, and B, I go through 150 charts at least every weekend. The other thing is the exercise that I just kind of showed today of when the market's getting killed, just try to find a couple names that are up and try to find something that's holding. And sometimes you'll see themes there of where people are moving their money, because what we're trying to do is follow institutional flows. And if they're selling everything except this one sector, then sometimes it means, okay, that's where these institutions are buying. And then the other way, because we keep talking about downside volatility, but there'll be upside volatility as well. So someday, he'll come out, he'll say something great, and the market will rip 2 or 3%. And you want to do the opposite there. If you're a long-only trader, those are the moments where you look at your stock, and if it hasn't gone up with the market, there's something wrong, and it might be time to get out. Or if you're a short trader, you look at what sectors didn't rally. Where were people selling? So I'd say relative strength always works in bull markets, bear markets, crazy markets, whatever. And then also try to explore different systems and different rules, because a lot of the mean reversion setups that myself and other people use, you're bidding under the market. So you're hoping for some crazy stuff that will come down and get your price and fill you. So yeah, it's going to be a wild time. Again, I would be worried to be a long-term buy and hold guy during this, but I think for active traders, and I bet you most people watching the show are active traders as well, I think it's going to be fantastic if you manage it correctly.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be able to say it better than that, so that'll be the mic drop moment. It's actually 4:30 right now, but we appreciate everybody, and I know if you have any few more questions for Michael, you're going to be here, obviously not always live, but a couple of times every single week. We get graced by your presence, and it's always great to have a longer term, swing trade experience, technical experience, just a little different. That's the best thing about this community. And speaking about this community, there's a little something we do in this community, and that's we wrap up the show, we wrap up the week with a little bit of roll call. And I do this every single time where I say the best way to start the roll call and get everybody's name read in the chat live. First, if you want to be in the chat and you want your name read, you got to hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe, hit the share, and then you get your name rhymed off. Usually Dara does it, but I'm going to do it. And the message I want you to put in there today, specifically, everyone's going to type exactly the same thing. All you're going to type is either, one of two things. Either thank you, Michael Noss, or thank you, Bears versus Bulls. The entire team, we love our team. We love my main man, Sean. We love the Bash Brothers on the midday show. We love Adair. We love Fabian, Ramin, and Andre on the ones and twos. Brendan on the desk. Obi when he fills in. But Bears versus Bulls, our moderator, we couldn't do it without you. And our special guest today, Michael Noss. Throw it in the chat and just simply say, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Bears versus Bulls. And let's get everybody excited for the roll call. I can't do it as well as Adara, but I'm going to do my absolute best. So get them in there in a second. Where we go? So let's go. We've got Po Wan, we got Roshan in the chat, we got Danielle in the chat, we got Chai Badu, BL, Arch Gamer, Pitchbull, NYC Urbanista, Mark L, Phil of the Future, Bunny Lamps, Bilbo, Bagholder, Tony, TH, Mohan Elwar, Ron Miller, we got Gurav in the chat, Celery 2, great name, Chemical Reaction Man as well. Shout out to 007 Kyle, now it's going too fast, Daryl Flinch in there, Stuart, Elon, Nico, Gurav again, Calla Lilies, my wife's favorite flower, so I have to stop and say that every single time. Nice. I love you, Rebecca. Sadiq in the chat. We've got Murley, Freaking Bull, William, Leo Moore. We've got Benson in the chat. We've got System Pro FX, A. Fernando, Shahid Khan, Frank Roca, Blessed by God. Shout out to you, Bora Hout. We've got, oh my goodness, Escape Planet. I see Mr. Fife, Edutainment Official. I like that name as well. Fiona X. I'm running out of breath because it's always a mouthful. Thank you guys so much. And almost everybody, pretty much everybody actually I saw, they're all saying thank you. They're all saying thank you, Michael. And that's what it's all about. We have a great trading community, and we appreciate you being a part of it, Mike.
I'm just always grateful that you guys have me on, right? I came in just to say hi, and I'm excited to be at home, but I'm excited to be back on the show next week, so it'll be great.
That's what it's all about. And you know the best part about all of this? Well, the market never sleeps. We get to do it all again Monday morning, big earnings next week. Palantir is going to start off the week. It's going to be a wild one, and we're going to be doing it for you live like we do every single day, 8:30 Monday morning. We are Trader TV Live. Have a good weekend, everybody.
See ya.